How was that?
It was crisp water on a cool Saturday afternoon.
It is a cool because it's October, and it's feeling nice and brisk. Because brisk is a term that you only use for the fall. I don't know who said that. It might be a haiku thing, but it is true. Good temperature. I'm feeling cozy. I got a nice hoodie on. I'm feeling good.
It's good. I got a jacket over there if I need it.
Right. We're talking about some sports movies today, which is always exciting. Right?
It's super exciting because that means Moneyball.
That does mean Moneyball. And welcome back, everybody, to the Stagler. I am Justin.
And I'm Nick.
And that's what we're talking about today. But before we get into all that good stuff, we have other things we have to do, like what we've been up to since last show, right?
Yes, that's what we do. And since the last show, a lot has happened on the TV landscape for me, at least.
Okay.
The Boys had 2 more episodes, and I criticized The Boys I wouldn't say pretty hard, but a little bit.
Last time you mentioned that you were prepared to really come down on the series if the next 2 episodes didn't shape up. You were ready to...
I was.
Yeah, so...
But I am very happy to say that they are picking up the slack.
Okay.
The next episode, right after the one that I said that they need to start making the heroes of the show more interesting.
Yeah.
That whole episode is basically dedicated to that.
Good.
So that was cool.
Do you think they watched the show and we're like, guys, we gotta get together right now? And the Stagler is criticizing, we fucked up. Okay, we fucked up.
That's exactly what happened.
Right, yeah.
And we got a lot of cool backstory for one of the main characters, and it had a really funny, disturbing moment that I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
There's a part where basically most of the episode takes place in this insane asylum where they're testing people with Compound V to make more superheroes or whatever. But
okay.
A lot of them are going crazy and stuff, so it's not going good. And a bunch of crap happens, and a lot of them get out. And there's this one guy who his power is his meat per se is very large and can move around and extend.
Okay.
It's like a big long tentacle.
So it's Mr. Fantastic, but worse.
Yes. And there's a part where it comes flying through the window.
Okay.
And it grabs MM around the throat and it's choking him.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them realize what it is.
Okay.
And then they get rid of it or whatever. And then they knock the guy out, and then they see it just slowly retracts
mm-hmm.
back up his leg. And they're all just oh my God.
It sounds juvenile. Okay, and frankly, this is a family show.
Right.
And I will not have dick talk on the show. Okay?
I thought that was funny.
That is pretty funny, actually.
And then the latest episode was also pretty all right. It had a good balance, actually, of both hero and superhero, which are the bad guys.
Right.
Stuff. And it ended in a very shocking fashion, just like the ending of Suspiria. I feel like we've been talking about Suspiria a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, everybody's heads just start exploding.
Great. Awesome.
So I don't know what that's about. Because way earlier in the season, somebody's head explodes, and they're like, "Who did that?" But then in the end of this one, 30 people's heads explode.
Yeah.
And it's what is going on?
But the show's still got some episodes left, right?
One
episode.
It has
left.
one episode left.
Gotcha.
Which isn't interesting. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe the next episode will be longer or something, because there's kind of a lot that they're gonna need to jam pack in there.
Right.
But we'll see how they handle it. Good cliffhanger for the penultimate.
Yeah. Do you have a theory?
I think it's Stormfront.
Oh.
But I don't know how she could be blowing people's heads up. But
What's her power? What's her power?
Well, she's lightning zappies, but
okay.
She's also been around for 100 and something years, because she was the first person to ever get Compound V, but she still looks really young.
Gotcha.
And she used to be another superhero, and she was married to a Nazi or something. She's a very, very bad person.
Okay, so real old though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe she has another power to just blow people's faces off whenever she wants. But I don't know.
Power.
Other than that, I really have no idea who could be blowing these people's heads up.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really nasty. and it was fun, I guess.
Nasty and Fun. The Boys season 2.
Speaking of nasty, oh my goodness, Raised by Wolves finale.
Getting gross.
Very disturbing at certain points, but Raised by Wolves first season is over now.
Right. Yeah. It's the end.
I very much enjoy this show.
Okay.
It's extremely original. Obviously, I talked about like the beautiful images and everything. The performances are good all around. Some of the child actors are. There's one part where I was like, wow, but they're like super side character children, so I was like, I can let it slide, I guess.
Yeah.
But the finale is like crazy wild, like Ridley Scott just like doing whatever he wants, basically.
Sure.
And I thought we were gonna have like another like chest burster type scene from Alien.
Oh yeah.
Because it was getting like that. Like the mother is like pregnant or whatever, and she has like this baby, and it's like you can see it like poking out of her stomach, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna like come out. But then it like shifts it up, and it comes out of her mouth.
Oh, cool.
But it's like
just like regular
weird,
childbirth.
like right, of course. And it's like this weird like snake demon flying thing, and it like floats around, and then it like attaches onto her and starts like feeding. And it's really weird.
The show is loosely based on like biblical stuff, though, right?
It seems like it, because it's funny because
or perhaps not loosely. I don't know.
Is they're trying to get to like the tropical zone or whatever of this planet, and in the end, mother and father, they want to kill this like demon creature that has been born, so they go down one of the pits in the planet, which leads them to like the core of the earth, and they're just gonna like crash into the core and like blow up or whatever.
Yeah.
But they actually go like through it, which is weird, and then they go like all the way to the other side of the planet into the tropical zone, which is like a Eden type landscape. And it's funny because there's a man and a woman in like this beautiful Eden like landscape, and then there's like a demon serpent.
Yeah.
So it's like very obvious what they're going for. But yeah, and all the kids are together, the whole gang's together, and my man Marcus is like a complete psychopath now.
Cool.
He's gone off the deep end. And remember I said the Mithraics like ship like crashed or whatever on the planet?
Yeah.
The atheists now have like arrived at the planet too, and their ship hasn't crashed or anything, but they've arrived, so now the world's got a lot bigger, so there's probably going to be like another war again.
Yeah.
But we'll see what's popping there. Marcus is trying to recruit some people, and there's the snake is like huge now, and there's like a giant snake that flies. It's terrifying.
Has only a season 2 been announced?
I think so.
So not 2, 3. It's just 2.
Just
for
2
now.
for now, but
okay.
We'll see what happens if they want to go for a third season or not.
All right. Yeah.
But I very much like the show. If you like sci-fi and like really weird, messed up stuff, this is it. This is the show for you.
Sounds like it.
So yeah, Raised by Wolves. I'll be waiting for the season 2 whenever in like 2046.
HBO Max.
HBO Max. That's where you get it. It's the first thing that I've finally got to like watch on HBO Max.
Really? Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And then I watched an anime called Erased. You ever seen this?
Oh, sounds familiar. I mean, I've never seen it, but you know,
it's real short. It's like a 12-episode mini-series, and it's basically about this dude who he has this like ability to like sometimes he just lives a normal life, but every now and then he'll just like go back in time like 5 minutes.
So, that one JoJo character.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he'll just go back in time 5 minutes, but he'll keep on going back in time unless he can like stop something bad from happening.
Oh.
So like every time he goes back, he has to be like, oh, okay, I have to figure out like something bad that's gonna happen, then I have to stop it, and then the world can continue to go on normally. But what happens is one time he goes like way back, like 20 years, all the way to when he was a kid or whatever. And he figures out that he's going to need to save like one of his childhood friends from being like abducted and murdered or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, really cool. Really awesome stuff. And the show's just about basically that. And it was pretty good. I think, I don't know if it's overhyped, but it is good. It's a solid show. But I feel like some people might, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
True.
But I feel like some people are like, this is the greatest anime of all time. And I'm just like, not really there for it. But it is good. as really great. The main character is really great. Again, kind of like in Parasite. But it has some interesting things going on. And one thing that I thought was really dumb is who the kidnapper murderer is. I won't spoil for anybody, but I found it to be extremely obvious from like the second episode.
Gotcha.
And then it gets revealed like at the end, and they like play it up to be this like huge thing. And I'm like, this was common knowledge.
Yeah.
If you like even like barely pay attention to the show.
Did I ever talk about? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Did I ever talk about how I beat Persona 4 like right as the last episode aired?
No.
Okay. Well, I did. And I felt that it had a very similar problem. Same with Persona 5. There's like, in both of those games, there's like, oh, who is this person, right? And in both of them, as soon as that person appeared on screen for the first time, I was like, it's them. It's that guy. Right there. Then you have to play the whole like 70-hour game to get to, it's that guy.
Oh my gosh.
But I got it like, I don't know. That was like annoyed me about it. But those games are good. And your show sounds interesting.
It was good. And then I always figured, I guess I'll go little spoilers here. I figured that he would have to die to save his friend or whatever. That would be the thing he has to change.
Yeah. I figured like there'd be some entity who was like, yeah, the worst thing that happened was you being born. He'd have to stop himself from being born.
Right. Which that's not the case. It's
Okay.
actually it might be worse.
Oh, really?
He gets kidnapped by the kidnapper. And then the kidnapper like drives him into a freezing lake.
Sure.
And he gets like trapped and he like drowns, you think. But he doesn't drown. He goes into like a coma. One thing that bothered me is they don't show how he like escapes the freezing lake in the car.
Oh.
But then he's just like, oh, he was in a coma for like 25 years.
Yeah.
And he wakes up 25 years later and all of his friends are alive and stuff. But he like doesn't get to live any of his life.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like the girl that he was saving, they kind of had like a connection, like a romantic connection. And now she's like married to like one of his good friends from elementary school.
Cool.
And I'm just like, this sucks for this guy
that
really
does seem
bad.
pretty sucky.
And that's like how it ends. He's just like, yeah, okay. I'm
Is he
back
happy
now.
with it, or is he like, oh my gosh?
I mean, no, he's like all right with it, but
Okay. I would not be.
But I was like, that sucks like big time.
What can you do? You know,
Yeah, I guess.
when you have time powers, it's never gonna end well. Basically.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Erased was pretty good.
Okay.
And I got one more thing. I finally finished A Storm of Swords, the third book in A Song of Ice and Fire, which is what inspired the TV series Game of Thrones, which we talked about at length.
We did. Yeah.
In a previous episode. This book is pretty good.
Good. Continuing the trend.
Right, yes. The books are very good. I find the Jon Snow chapters are like way more interesting
Really?
than I thought. Well, I guess I didn't think that they'd be like not interesting, but they're like way more interesting than the show. And a lot of the other ones are like basically the same, but I really, really enjoy the Jon and the Jaime chapters too, because it's good to get inside of Jaime's head.
Jaime.
But yeah, and there's just some slight differences that like it's starting to deviate a little more as I got later into the book. But just some like interesting things that I don't know, like Ygritte. Remember Ygritte?
Yeah, Ygritte, of course.
She dies like not like way earlier, but like earlier.
Okay, the same way?
Yeah. Well, okay, Ollie doesn't exist in the book.
Oh.
This is important. So Ollie
Good.
doesn't shoot her.
Okay, that's good, but I like to hate Ollie.
Right. He just like comes across Ygritte and she's like on the ground with like an arrow in her.
Okay, so Ollie does exist, but he's in secret.
Right. It was Ollie the whole time.
Yeah.
He'll get revealed at the end and he's like, I'm the Night King.
I am the Night King. Dude, imagine if Ollie killed the Night King and it was a whole turn where everyone was like, Ollie, savior of the realm.
Oh, dang.
And then he was like, kill Jon Snow.
Ollie the man. And then Samwell Tarly is not present at the Castle Black during like the battle. He's like not there, which I thought was interesting. He's off with Gilly and they're like trying to get back.
They're still from
from Craster's Keep.
Has he killed the White Walker yet?
Yes.
Okay.
He did.
Cool.
He did do that. They're called the Others in the book, by the way. I don't know why they decided to change that, but they're just called the Others.
I much prefer the White Walkers.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Others. That's lame.
That's what it is.
Maybe George shouldn't write the next book.
One little thing that I just thought was funny is when Oberyn and the mountain face off, the mountain like swings at Oberyn, and Oberyn like dodges it, but the mountain like hits like a random bystander like in the shoulder and like cuts his arm off.
Wow.
And then
that's
he
totally
just
on the
decides
bystander.
to swing again and like chops his face off. And I was just like, why would they not put that in? That's like hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
But yeah, that's the same.
See, they should have made it a really important character like Cersei.
They just chopped her face off.
Just like in the middle of this battle, it's just like, oh yeah, also he killed Cersei, Queen Regent, or whatever.
What else? When Joffrey dies in the book, it's like a lot grosser.
Oh,
even though it's really gross in the show.
Yeah, it's the pigeon pie.
But it's the same exact way the pigeon pie or whatever, and he drinks the thing and he chokes out or whatever. But when he's choking, he's like in the book, he's like clawing his throat like open.
Oh,
like,
open.
Like
because he was doing it in the show, but not like.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds really gross.
I wonder if it would have worked. Probably, if they would have gave him like a good old like tracheotomy or whatever.
So like he can breathe.
He had the right idea.
I suppose.
He needed the right tools. He needed to get a Widowmaker or whatever. Widowmaker.
Widow's Whale.
Widow's Whale. Widowmaker's Overwatch.
He needs to get Widowmaker from Overwatch.
To shoot him in the throat.
And then boom, Joffrey's okay. We're ready to rumble.
Yeah, and I mean, she could probably take out the Night King too with a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
probably. Or with them ass cheeks.
Yo, you already know. The biggest thing though that I was like kind of taken back from is Arya and the Hound. You know, they go on their little adventure together.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of the show.
And you remember they walk into like
Chickens?
the like tavern or whatever. Yeah, and they fight the people and she gets Needle back.
Yeah.
Remember? In the book, that happens just like normal. But right after that, Arya leaves and gives the coin to the dude and is like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, because now the book's over, I haven't read the next one yet. I'm assuming that she goes that way.
And then Hound finds Brienne would be the next thing?
Yeah, but that confused me because they're together when that
in
happens.
The show.
And they try to go all the way to the Eyrie in the show too. So I guess that just like doesn't happen at all. So that's like kind of really going. Yeah. So I don't know what's up with what they're going to do with the Hound. Or a he. I guess it's not they. It's he.
Yeah.
But I thought that was very strange and different. I like it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we still don't know how different it's going to be from the show for the last 2 books, you know, or especially the last book, Dream of Spring, because of how it was received, you know. So he might really mix it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I know there's a lot of characters. I'm sure I'll get to them in like the next 2 books that just like straight up don't exist at all. Like Victarion Greyjoy, who I was like, who is that? But apparently he's like a big player. And obviously Lady Stoneheart, who comes in at the very end of this book.
Yes.
So
another Greyjoy. That's actually really interesting to me. Because that's okay.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I'm digging into the 4th book ASAP.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then
the 5th book, and then I'm on the waiting train with everybody else.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was it for me. Pretty good week. I'd say I had a solid 2 weeks.
That is a very solid week. I didn't have as solid as that, but I did watch a few things.
All right.
I watched. Well, okay, it was kind of, remember that Will Ferrell movie I talked about, that Fire Saga movie?
Eurovision?
Yeah, whatever. I kind of watched this movie the same way that I watched that movie, where I saw like 90% of it, but it just kind of happened in front of me. And I'm talking about the new movie, Enola Holmes, starring Millie Bobby Brown, 11, and Superman, and Bellatrix. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter, right?
Yes.
She's a small part. I mean, so is Henry Cavill, but it is Enola Holmes is Sherlock Holmes' little sister, and she is like basically a little Sherlock Holmes. That's kind of her deal. She's like the same person, and she's just got a mystery that she needs to solve. And there's like women's suffrage going on. She's trying to find her mom.
Okay.
And like women's suffrage is like a big thing that's happening at the time. And then she unravels like a different mystery with like a Duke of Tewksbury or something like that.
Tewksbury.
Yeah. It was good. It was a really fun like kids movie. You know, like if I was a kid, I'd probably really dig this movie, and I feel like it is a very feminist movie. You know, it's like girl Sherlock Holmes, woman power, all that kind of stuff. But I don't feel like it's too in your face about it. There were a few moments where I was like, okay, we get it.
Okay.
Like it's just parts where it's like you don't need to bring down men to empower women. You know what I mean? It's like we can lift everybody up together. You know what I mean? But it was still very good, very fun. There was one decision they made, which I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
A creative decision where Enola Holmes speaks to the audience. She breaks the fourth wall.
Oh, fourth wall.
And talks to the audience like she's trying to figure out a riddle, and she's like, "Do you have any ideas?"
Like Dora.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a weird Dora Holmes kind of situation. You know what I'm talking about? And they do it here and there. I feel like they did it sparingly enough that each time it happened, I was like, "Oh, right, they're doing that in this movie."
Do you see the murderer?
Right, exactly, stuff like that. Or a boy would say something at her, and she'd glare at the camera like, "Oh, can you believe you said that to me? I'm Enola Holmes. This guy's just the Duke of Tewksbury." You know what I mean?
Tewksbury.
But still, really fun. If you have kids and you just need to put a movie on for them, you'll get enough enjoyment out of it as an adult, I think, to watch it. But I think kids would totally love it. I haven't seen reviews or anything. I bet it's right around like 6 point something.
Just like middle of the ground.
Right, exactly. But no, it's good. Totally fine. Totally fine film.
Nice. I will not watch it.
Yeah, I know. But if you're watching kids or something, be like, "Oh, let's watch Enola Holmes." They'll be like, "Okay, give me ice cream." And they'll be like, "No, ice cream before bed." And they'll be like, "Fuck you." Okay, after that, I watched Everybody Wants Some! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
3.
There were 3 in the title. I think it's from 2016. Steven Soderbergh right after Boyhood. I think this is the one right after that. It's just about a guy. It's like 1980. Oh, wait, I might be wrong. Okay, it's a while ago. Vintage,
Vintage.
But it's about a baseball team the week before college starts,
Okay.
So they're all moving into like the frat house, and meeting all the members of the team. Get your main character, I think his name is Jake. Just meeting everybody and then just having a good time, and then college starts. The whole movie is just drinking, partying, having sex, one day where they have baseball practice, and then the ending scene is them sitting in the classroom and like class starts. I have a weird relationship with this film.
Okay.
This film is good, but not everybody might like it, and I don't even know if I like it.
Oh, okay.
I can't relate or even enjoy the whole college drinking party, women objectification to a certain extent.
Sure.
Kind of vibe that a lot of things have going on with that. I don't find it that entertaining to watch all these people being buffoons and jumping on tables and being rowdy. I don't need these rowdy teens and young adults, 20-year-olds in my life. They can stay away from me.
Right.
But a lot of it was just like, it is very like, I think this movie is banking on being relatable. Like if you can relate with nothing in this film, you're going to hate it. But if you can relate with it a lot, you're going to, which I guess is the basis of a lot of stuff.
Right.
But because it's so based in reality movie, it's nothing spectacular. That's kind of all it's going for is like, remember when you were in college and it was 1975, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were a lot of characters and they all had, very specific personalities, like they're all weird, but there's like, oh, this is a guy with the bowl cut who fights people for no reason. Oh, this is the black one, this is the country boy. It's stuff like that.
Yeah. This
is the ladies' man. And there were parts that I enjoyed where there were the camaraderie of just like the competitiveness between a group of guys, let alone an actual sports team, but just in the competitiveness or how men in a group can kind of just operate with each other, because there's this character named Billy Autry
Billy Autry.
who's basically the outcast. He's like a freshman. He's
Okay.
one of the freshmen, and he's my favorite character. He's not in 80% of the movie. He's there at the beginning, then he leaves to go home to visit his girlfriend, and then he shows up at the end for practice, right?
Right.
And but he's my favorite character. He's the country boy. I like his funny accent.
Country boy.
You know? I love you. So they all pick on him or whatever. Instead of calling him Billy Autry, they came up with the most like bumpkin name they could come up with, and they call him Buter Perkins. Buter Perkins, and he hates it or whatever. And
I would hate that too.
I know, but I just kind of resonated with that. It was like, I've definitely been in a situation where it's a group of guys and we all laser focus on the one guy who's like the runt of the litter, and everybody knows it. You're like, that guy is the guy. You know what I mean? So that was so relatable. #relatable. So I enjoyed that part of the film. But other than that, it didn't get much with me.
Meh.
There was an actual romance, like legitimate, like love thing with the main character and a girl from like the arts department. Kind of fell flat for me. It was Madison from Zombieland 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't really get anything from it. A lot of the movie, when they were talking, seemed almost like pseudo-intellectual to me. Maybe that was the point. Because they're so young. It's like, oh, look how deep they're trying to be. Could be.
Deep.
But then the ending makes me not think that, because you'd have to watch the movie yourself to come to that conclusion. But overall, it's serviceable, at least. Pretty good, at best.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Remember the guy from The Walking Dead, the last season you watched, that he got like his face burnt by the thing, by a Negan, and
right, he steals Daryl's crossbow.
Yeah, that guy. He's in it. He's one of the college kids.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's pretty good in it. I
Good
watched
for him.
one other thing, and that was Logan Lucky, which also had a lot of fun accents.
Yes, I've seen this.
2017?
Yeah, I think so. Which is crazy. It feels like for like way longer.
Right, it does. Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, main people in it. It is a heist movie. It's Ocean's 11 guy. Ocean 7-Eleven is literally the joke they make in the movie. And they're all just trying to rob a vault from under a raceway. And they're trying to get the money. And that's the whole movie. It's just a heist. And the characters in this movie are so weird.
Very strange.
They're just very strange, but it's very entertaining to just watch them be weird and talk in their funny ways, you know?
Yeah.
Did you just say cauliflower to me? He's like, last time you said cauliflower, I ended up in juvie. Whatever. It's a good film. Do you remember the part near the end where he goes to his daughter's recital and she sings Country Roads? Take me home. That song? Do you remember that?
No.
That happens. It actually like almost made me cry. Because
the song is very emotional.
It's very good. And she was supposed to be singing Umbrella by Rihanna.
Under my umbrella.
But because her dad showed up, she was like, oh my gosh, she made it. And so she sang her dad's favorite song. And she started singing that with no backing track, just totally alone. Then the whole crowd started singing with her. And I was like, because they're in West Virginia, by the way. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you can't sing it because we'll get copyright struck. So I'm trying to talk over you.
We'll be all right.
I was waiting until you were stopping. Yeah. The only problem I have with this film, the heist is fun. I don't need to understand a heist to enjoy it, but I might have liked to a little bit more. The third act tries to pull like a switcheroo where you think he gives the money back, but he actually gave back half the money and kept the other half, which you don't find out until he like finds it in his yard or whatever. And then Hilary Swank shows up in the last act to like unravel this for the audience, you know? And the Raceway people end up not caring because the insurance covered what they lost and everything, even though they don't know how much they lost, which is another thing that just kind of gets brushed off.
Right.
The third act just kind of fell apart. But the rest of that movie, very fun to watch. Just fun to watch the people speak and interact with each other and have a good time. What are you thinking of? You just trying to remember?
I was just listening and I was trying to think of
the
scenes you were talking about.
Overall, I liked it. Again, I think all these movies basically in the same spot for me, honestly.
They're just all right.
They're just all perfectly fine.
All right movies.
I mean, if I looked at my ratings, 90% of, on a 1 to 10 scale, like 90% are gonna be like 6 and 7. You know, that's just how movies are. I hate looking at people's lists and they're all 1s or 10s. There's no in between. It's good or bad. But that actually about does it for me, really, because I was watching real sports movies the rest of the time.
Heck yeah,
real ones. But before we get to that, we have some sad news, I think.
Really unfortunate. So here's the deal. I know everybody loves the box office section of the show that I got to do like twice.
Yeah, everyone's really excited about it, and we get emails all the time.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cut the box office section of the show once again because no movies are coming out. All the movies that would make money have now been pushed back until next year. So
it'll probably come back as long as theaters come back. We'll probably start doing it.
Yes, if there's movies out that make money, I would love to tell everybody about it.
But we're going to wait a while until we're 100% sure that it'll just be normal again for movies to happen.
Because Tenet flopped, so everyone else is scared to release their movie now.
Yeah. Like Fast 9, because it got delayed again to May 2021.
I would love to live in the world, the alternate dimension, where I have already seen Fast 9, because it was supposed to come out like 8 months ago.
Where you already have the Blu-ray.
Oh, I would have it.
All right, exactly. What a world. Let's think about it for a second. Wow.
It would be great.
Isn't that something?
It would be really amazing.
But we got some other stuff to handle right now in the real world. Okay?
Yeah.
And in the real world, the Academy establishes representation and inclusion standards for Oscars eligibility. So why don't you give us the rundown on this? Do you think you can do that?
No.
Okay, never mind. Basically...
I'm sorry, I don't think I could.
For the 96th Oscars, which is 2024, so this isn't anything that's going to come up until 2024. For Best Picture nominees only...
Right. Yes.
There are certain diversity guidelines that must be met. They must meet 2 out of 4 standards. Standard A is on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. So this is like the movie. What happens in the movie? Like 42, which is a sports movie, would tick off A because it deals with Jackie Robinson and all that. So that deals with just the themes or the cast in general. So really everything that viewers see is box A. Standard B is creative leadership and project team. So this is basically the whole crew seeing that there's at least 30% either women or for not white people. I mean, that's the easiest way to say this.
Yes.
Or LGBTQ or people with certain cognitive or physical disabilities in the crew. So behind the cameras, behind the scenes and everything.
Right.
Standard C is industry access and opportunities. So that's making sure there's enough paid internships and apprenticeships for the people in the groups that I mentioned. And D, which is audience development, which is basically everybody. It seems like, everybody in marketing, publicity, other distribution teams, everybody who does everything else in the movie that isn't making it, making sure that they fit those groups. I think it's 30% is like the number they're looking for. Here's the thing with this whole change. I think basically 95% already checkmark box B because most hairdressers, costume designers, makeup people are women. As last time I looked, it's like 70 to 80% are women, which is one of the groups mentioned here. So most things only need to check off one more box, which
is easy.
Is really easy. So I don't really actually have a problem with any of this.
It doesn't really change anything.
But it does.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
It's good, but it's not so drastic that it's going to destroy anything. You can still make any movie that you want to. It's just putting certain standards in place. And it's not as intrusive as I thought it would be because 90% of movies, I would probably say 95% of...
I can't think of any of the recent like Best Picture nominees that wouldn't be nominated because of these rules. Like maybe like 1917.
Right, 1970 could be one that, depending on like the
crew and
the
stuff.
crew. Because even if And even the apprenticeships, if they do
Yeah.
that and then offer apprenticeships to people of color and women and LGBT, all that,
Yeah.
then they're good, you know? So we'll see how positive of a change this is, but I don't really see this having any negative change to me.
Yeah, no, it's not like the popular Oscar
Yeah.
that they tried to get going.
Yeah, and it's also not going to start until 2024, so people have plenty of time to adjust to these things. Plenty of time.
Cool.
I
Good.
know that there were a few directors, most directors that I saw still disagreed with the rules, but I don't know. I don't see a huge deal about it.
Yeah, I don't see why it would be a problem. Whatever.
WandaVision trailer racks up massive traffic in 24 hours post Emmys. Nobody watched the Emmys, really.
Nope.
It got like 6.1 million viewers, which is a lot, but not for the Emmys. But there was a trailer for Disney Plus's WandaVision, and it got 53 million views in 24 hours.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. I watched it. I don't know if I watched it in 24 hours.
We average like 120 in 24 hours, like 120 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're almost on our level, but
Right, but this is
It's
for
pretty-
this is for ads.
it's
not
pretty good for
for-
Marvel.
For Marvel, yeah,
It's
like
all right.
obviously
For us, it's like bronze medal, but
yes, exactly. But so that's cool. But I want to talk about the WandaVision trailer for a
Sure.
second. What did you think?
I thought it was.
Yeah, just
It doesn't seem like my thing. I was very not interested.
It's not that I'm interested in it, but it's just like I want to watch it just to like see what happens. It feels like it could be if it's a huge success or if it's a huge failure, either way, as long as it's not middle of the road, it's going to change the future of some Marvel stuff, I think, you know.
Probably.
Change the direction or how creative they're willing to get or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it, but it's definitely something I want to keep my eyes on.
I'll make a deal. Not really a deal.
Okay.
I'll watch it if the episodes are 30 minutes like The Mandalorian. I'll
Okay.
watch it.
Yeah.
Or if the episodes are an hour long, the only other way I'll watch it is if it has like a more than an 8.5 on IMDb.
Okay. What if it's an hour, but it's only like 8 episodes?
It has to have more than an 8.5 on IMDb or
Okay.
I'm not going to watch it. It has to be really, really good.
Really good. I can't see that happening, but who knows? Who knows? Could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson has come back to play Nick Fury in a new Disney Plus series.
Great.
We know nothing about it, but it's being written and executive produced by Kyle Bradstreet, who produced a lot of Mr. Robot, which doesn't mean a lot, but it's still very cool.
Yeah, that's cool, but Sam Esmail like had that show by the throat.
Right, exactly. So Battlestar Galactica is still my main thing for now. But there's a lot of Marvel's coming. Their Phase 4, it's coming soon. You know, it's coming for us. We got
But yeah, what's on the list?
WandaVision, the new Nick Fury thing that is unnamed, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye,
Loki.
She-Hulk. There's a Loki TV show. We talked about it before, I believe.
I just forget.
She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and
Wait.
the animated What If series.
What's that?
Do you know the What Ifs, like the comic What Ifs?
No.
Basically, it's what if. So they're like, what if the Punisher had Nicolas Cage powers, Ghost Rider powers,
Oh,
you know, stuff like that. Or like, what if Spider-Man was evil or something like that. I don't know the real stories, but it's basically what if this thing was not what it was. What if Aunt May got Spider-Man's powers instead of Peter?
Oh,
That might actually be one.
weird.
You know? And it's going to be animated. Could be really fun. Could be, you know, if they're doing original ones or if they're just adapting the comics, I don't know. But, you know, could be cool. Could be cool.
Interesting.
But yeah, a lot of stuff slated for them.
Good for Marvel.
Good for Marvel. Again, I've tapped out, so I don't feel obligated, which is great. Here's the thing. I just named like a ton of things. Are they planning another one, another like Infinity War with all of these characters again? Like with Moon Knight and She-Hulk, and
Probably.
that's a lot.
Who would be the villain? I don't know. I guess they'll come up with a new villain.
Wasn't
Unless Thanos comes back.
Thanos comes back. And it's Thanos 2.
That would be great. That would make Infinity War even worse.
It's another timeline Thanos. He's like, I defeated my timeline, so now I've come to defeat the ones.
Or not Infinity War. Endgame.
Endgame, yeah.
I like Infinity War.
Because it's another timeline. He's like, yeah, I destroyed mine, so now I'm destroying all of them. And they're like, we're the last surviving timeline.
Yeah, that'll be great. That sounds fantastic.
I don't know. Oh, HBO Max, speaking of superhero stuff, is getting a Suicide Squad spin-off, the new Suicide Squad, starring John Cena,
Okay.
called It's Peacemaker.
Interesting.
Interesting to spin off a movie that is a reboot of a movie that nobody likes without the movie having come out yet.
Right.
It's shows a lot of confidence, which, you know, is nice. Sometimes you think, you know, maybe DC's a little too confident. But John Cena's kind of cool.
I like John Cena. I wouldn't say he's like a great actor or anything, but I mean, he's like an alright actor.
He was great in Bumblebee.
Was he?
I don't know. But you know what he is great in? Fred.
WWE.
Fred.
Oh, Fred the movie.
Yeah, Fred the movie. And
Fantastic.
Fred 2, Night of the Living Fred.
Night of the Living Fred.
Hey, Fred 2, Night of the Living Fred, actually pretty good.
The only thing I remember from the Fred movies is like Fred goes over to Kevin's house and he like knocks on the door and he's like, "Hi, I'm looking for Kevin." And the mom is like, "Oh, Kevin, your friend's here." And Kevin's just like, "Mom, I'm on the crapper." That's all I remember.
See, in the second one, his neighbor is a pedophile who eats children.
Oh. Like Pennywise.
Yeah, except he's a vampire.
Oh.
Because it's Night of the Living Fred.
That sounds great.
I like it. I think it's kind of cool. Like, no joke. Fred 1 and Fred 2, not as bad as... Okay, they are as bad as people say, but they're the bad that you can enjoy. They're those kind of movies.
Sure. Yeah.
You disagree?
I just told you the only thing I remember from Fred.
But you liked that thing you remember.
Yes, it was funny.
So there you go. Fred, 10 out of 10. I think he has a TikTok now.
Oh, good for him.
Good for him. All we know is that there's going to be... It's going to be 8 episodes of just Peacemaker, John Cena.
Great.
I hope he wrestles.
That'd be cool.
You can't see me. He better say that at some point. Did you know John Cena has to say that line in every movie he's in?
What?
You can't see me? He has to do that?
Does he really do that in every movie he's in?
No.
I don't believe you. Yeah, I
You
was like,
shouldn't.
what?
We talked about The Boys, and we talked about spin-offs. The Boys spin-off put on fast-track development at Amazon following Mothership's Record Season 2 launch.
Fast track development. Yeah, I know like hella people have been watching season 2. The subreddit is like crazy.
Wow. Yeah. And review bombing it, as we spoke of last time. The spin-off is described as an irreverent, R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. Part college show, part Hunger Games. What do you think? I mean, I have no stake in this. Give me your thoughts.
It sounds interesting, but it might be a little early for a spinoff.
Even with the smashing success? Wouldn't you want to capitalize on it before?
I mean, as like a business standpoint, like,
right?
Great.
Yes.
But like, will it be good? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's really connected at all, other than just being like in the same universe.
Right.
So we'll have to like see if they can come up with like good characters. I don't know if the comics have anything like that, or if this is like a totally its own thing.
Yeah, I don't know either. It might be completely original.
I have no idea.
How do you feel about The Boys cinematic universe?
The Boys cinematic universe. I mean, I like The Boys.
Or it would be a television universe, I guess.
I mean, could be cool.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I guess it has to cross over eventually. They always do that.
Yeah,
so.
Homelander has to come in at one point. And
Homelander, my man.
Yeah, he'll do something, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll wait for a trailer and I'll make my decision.
Doesn't even have a title yet, so might be a sec.
That's fine.
Do you remember Quibi?
Quibi. Yeah, I hated Quibi. I didn't even try it, but I just thought the idea was really dumb.
Well, the short form streaming service Quibi is exploring its options, including selling. And it started by Jeffrey Katzenberg and led by Meg Whitman. this started this year. This Quibi. Remember, it was like the Oscars is when I first heard about it, because we watched the Oscars and like there were a ton of ads that made no sense, and they just said Quibi at the end of it, and we were both like, "What is Quibi?" Like we looked at each other multiple times. We were like, "What is Quibi?" And we didn't figure out until after the show. So the ad campaign was very successful, I would say, because I didn't even know how to pronounce it. I was saying like Quibi. I didn't know what it was. So it launched this year, and basically sucked,
flopped.
and nobody liked it. And they blamed it on a little bit. They blamed a little bit on the coronavirus.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they said since everybody was home, they had their TVs and their computers. They didn't need to watch stuff on their phone. They were at home all the time.
Oh.
Because I guess they were thinking like commuting, you would like watch Quibis, quick bites, you know?
I just
like,
think that's so dumb.
It feels like a decision made by people who like live in cities.
I
You know,
guess,
it's like when you're on the bus, when you're on the tube, you know, you can be like,
on the tube.
oh, I've got a 10-minute on the bus. I can watch a Quibi, you know? But when you're
No.
driving your truck 50 miles to the grocery store because you live in a food desert, you don't got time. You got to drive. You don't got time for Quibi.
Damn right.
I got to drive my Ford F-150.
Damn right.
I took the tires off and replaced them with mud.
And I gotta go mudding.
Gotta go mudding.
Quibi, I won't miss you.
They're not going out of business like right now. They still actually are sitting on a decent pile of cash, but it doesn't look like they're going anywhere up fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't invest in the stock market with them, so I'm good.
Yeah, me neither. Netflix to Oscar campaign Delroy Lindo for Best Actor for Da 5 Bloods.
Good.
I think we called this.
We did.
I swear we called this. We were like Delroy Lindo. We were like, yeah, Delroy Lindo for this. Or it might have been even just you. I don't remember. But
he's great in that movie.
He is great. He's 67, and he was excellent in that film. The slow descent into an absolute mad lad.
He goes crazy.
He goes really crazy, and he goes out really
he gets lit,
rough.
He gets lit up.
Yeah. I had problems with that movie, but my problems were like the real violence, but the fake violence, I approve.
Awesome.
I just, I back it right now.
Heck yeah,
Sure,
Delroy
Lindo,
let's go.
That's
I
cool.
mean, listen, there hasn't really been too many movies this year, but he's probably got the best performance.
Yeah, I mean,
so far.
I don't know who exactly I would think of, but you know what? Denzel Washington, Adam Driver, and Danny Aiello all received acting nominations, all Spike Lee movies, and none of them won. So this might change that.
We'll see. We'll see if any other
actor
can come out and go crazy, go stupid.
Looks like he's gonna be facing off against Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman.
I heard that Anthony Hopkins was real good in that movie, The Father.
So,
and I mean, Gary Oldman
is
great, and he's in Mank, the new David Fincher movie about Orson Welles. So you know,
it is tough. It is tough.
We'll see how that goes.
We're gonna see how it goes. But Delroy Lindo and Borat. Did you watch Borat?
No, but I've seen many, many funny scenes from it.
Yeah, same here. I want to sit down and actually watch it someday because I've never actually seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the Borat sequel, acquired by Amazon, is going to premiere before the election.
Heck yeah.
The original film was Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
Right. The new name is like crazy long.
The new one, here's the thing. I think we don't know if the title is real yet. We got a title, but it was removed from wherever it was listed.
Oh.
So they think they might be giving a new title. But the title that was found was Borat, Gift of Pornographic Monkey to Vice Premier Mikhail Pence to Make Benefit Recently Diminished Nation of Kazakhstan.
That's amazing.
It's a pretty good title.
That's just amazing.
And it's going to likely feature President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani. He called the NYPD on the film star Sacha Baron Cohen after an interview in July. Mike Pence is in it. We saw a clip of him. And it's going to focus on the COVID-19 pandemic and Trump's relationship with late financier and convicted sex offender. Do I even need to say his name at this point?
Jeff Meister.
And he's gonna be doing the thing. He apparently had to wear a bulletproof vest when he was shooting this film sometimes for fear of his life.
Wow.
It was very interesting.
Wow.
Cool. Probably gonna check it out sometime.
Oh yeah, I would like to see it.
Gonna watch the first one first.
Yeah.
Do a back-to-back double feature deal with this movie.
Double Borat. Maybe throw in a Bruno. Yes.
You know Bruno? Did you see Bruno?
I haven't seen it, but I know.
That's the one where
I
he's...
know it.
That movie, I don't know if I can watch that movie. Baron Cohen in recent years has called out Facebook and other social media sites over their reluctance to monitor and regulate content appearing on the platforms. He said, if Facebook were around in the 1930s, it would have allowed Hitler to post 30-second ads on his solution to the Jewish problem. Which is, I mean, it kind of be like that, though.
He's not wrong.
I'm excited. The original one got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, so we're going to see if this one can live up to the hype, because it's definitely got a lot of hype around it.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not like he's been out of the game for super long, He had that show, This Is America or something like that.
This is America.
Or Show Us America. Who is America? And I saw a clip from that show where he got Georgia Republican lawmaker Jason Spencer resigned because he convinced him on the show to scream the N-word. Because he was doing some, I think it was safety self-defense training. And he was like, hey, if you yell help, people aren't going to pay attention. It's like, you got to yell something other than help. So you got to yell, the N-word. That gets people like, whoa, who's saying the N-word? It gets everybody to look at you. So that's how you get help, because everybody will, look in that direction. So he's like, on 3, we're going to shout the N-word, okay? And he's like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And the guy starts shouting the N-word over and over and over again. And then he's like, no, stop. Not that N-word. No, I was talking about... And then he says some other word or something like that. And the fact that he could keep a straight face while this Georgia Republican lawmaker was just screaming the N-word hard R over and over again.
What?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
That's crazy.
Borat backwards is Tarob. James Cameron is a filmmaker.
Indeed.
And the sequels are coming along. He's recently revealed that he is 100% complete filming Avatar 2 and 95% complete on Avatar 3.
Oh, yo, he's been going to work.
Yeah. So, filming, obviously these films are very CG heavy. So,
Yeah, we'll get it in 2030.
Well, I don't know if there's a thing, but we've rolled around one more full year for release in December of 2022. Right. For Avatar 2. Avatar 3, who knows, maybe the year after? I don't know. If they're already 90. Well, right, because there's going to be 5. Sigourney Weaver's coming back, I guess, which is interesting.
Did she die?
Kate Winslet? I don't remember. I do not remember.
Nothing. 0 things.
I feel like I remember one thing where, the dude was in a mech, and he was like, I'm going to get this unobtainium if it kills me. And he dies.
Well,
that's what it was, right? Unobtainium?
I have no idea.
Or was it Transformium? No, that was Transformers.
Oh, no.
That was Transformers. It was Transformium. Because Transform. Good for James Cameron. I guess this is actually happening. You know what? Disney put a lot of money in it already with that whole park and everything. I don't know if you've
I'm
heard
sure
of
the
it.
park is really cool. Pandora.
I hear it's awesome.
I mean, it's got to be.
I won't be going there until but it's cool. I know you're excited.
Yes,
for
this
Avatar.
is it. This is the best news. It's gonna save 2020.
What is the news?
Attack on Titan. I'm representing today
with
my shirt,
which is
right there.
Which is what is on your shirt?
Oh, this is the sigil for the scouts.
Okay, yeah.
When you watch the show, you'll know. But listen, now you have to watch the show.
I do
because Attack on Titan finally got confirmed for December 7th of 2020. That's when it's going to air in Japan, which means that in America we'll probably get like the day after. Or
Yeah.
like something like that.
So I don't know how long I'll have to wait for the dub, but it might take a while.
Watch your mouth.
No, I'm very excited because it was something that I've been meaning to watch for a long time.
And now you have a time limit.
And now that I can time myself and be like, know when I can start, so that when I finish the season 3, I can just start season 4 because it'll be coming out. I like doing that. I did with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I almost did with Mr. Robot. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm gonna start watching it soonish, probably November.
I'm hyped. I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
This is probably like the single most hyped up season of anime like ever.
Yeah.
So, everyone says, all like the manga readers and stuff say that this is gonna be like the best season of anime of all time.
I thought the manga wasn't done.
Well, I think it's like literally like there's either
They're gonna sync
one
up.
issue left or like he's like the creator of the show is like right at the end.
Gotcha. So like
It might already be done. I'm not sure.
So they're gonna end at like the same time, kind of.
Yeah,
that's very cool. I like that. The first season premiered in 2013.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The second season didn't come until 2017.
It's crazy.
Now I have one question to ask you. Are you worried, if you know about this, that there's a new production studio handling the final season? Because WIT Studio handled the first 3, but
WIT.
MAPPA will be taking over production for the last one. Is this anything that's giving you pause?
It was. I think everyone was like, "Oh, which studio's not doing Attack on Titan?" But I kind of like it because, well, number one, I've seen some of MAPPA's stuff.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Okay, cool.
And also, I know that season 4 has like a decently long time hop from the end of season 3 to the beginning of season 4. So it's kind of cool too that, they're skipping so much time to kind of get like a new style, even though it's basically the same style. They're trying as hard as they can, to keep it as
right.
Well,
Well,
even
even
with the other seasons.
Even looking at a promotional image I see here, I can already see like costumes and at the very least the switch up a little bit.
Yeah, I think. I mean, in the trailer at least, it looks great.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer for obvious reasons.
So yes.
Am I okay to, or definitely not?
Okay. If you watch the trailer, you would just be like, "What is going on?"
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, I don't.
Okay, you know what else? Maybe just don't.
What?
Just don't go to space. Why do we have to go to space? Tom
Space
Cruise
is awesome.
Tom Cruise, I know that you're famous and you love Scientology or whatever. And Elon Musk, I know you have a kid with a stupid name. But you guys don't need to go to space because Tom Cruise, Elon Musk, NASA, and I don't know if Doug Lyman's going to space, but he did Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, what?
They're going to space, piloted by Commander Michael Lopez Alegria.
Amazing.
Will set off on a tourist mission in October 2021 with Cruise and Lyman, there you go, on board.
What?
So, yeah, Tom Cruise and Doug Lyman are both going to be on board, and they're just going to be hanging out. Here's the thing. There's this tweet that says 1 seat still to be filled. I don't know what that means.
Me.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Are they going to run like a fan thing where it's like, oh, donate $20 to the thing and get put in a raffle and you can go to space?
Dude, I would do that so fast.
I would not do that. Okay. I am afraid of space. I do not want to go to space. I can do planes. No, I have no fear of planes. Space?
I take space before the ocean.
Ooh, that's tough. The bottom, like 10,000 whatever down. I don't know how deep the ocean is. Whatever the deepest part of the ocean is.
It's very deep. It's very deep.
Or space. See, at least the ocean, you can be trapped at the bottom of the ocean, like, and you
can't drown in space. Well, you can.
You can drown in space,
but there's really
it's more likely to drown in the ocean.
Yes.
But what's scary to you, drowning or no oxygen and very cold?
Well, when you die in space, it's like really fast, right? Like if I jumped out of the ship into space, it's really fast, I think.
I have no idea.
I think you literally just like insta freeze and it's just over.
I don't know about that.
I don't know for sure, but I mean, drowning is like way worse. Are you kidding? That's like the worst way you could die.
At least with space, when you're dying, you can be like, this is a really cool way to die.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna be floating in space for eternity.
Right. Where drowning, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to be another skeleton for some 13-year-olds in a teeny boppers movie to find.
Exactly.
Space would be a cool way to die. You know what? You've turned me around on this. If I had to die in the ocean or in space, I'd rather die in space.
Exactly. See? It's simple.
Best of luck. 1 year from now, blasting off again. I wonder if... They don't say why they're doing this.
It's got to be for a movie, right?
For a movie, but I don't know, like how much is going to be shot up there, or
Also, like, how far can they go? Especially if it's just like the director and Tom Cruise and like one other person, like the gaffer.
Well, I'm sure they got like a image here. I'm sure there's like a whole thing going on. Yeah, see, look at all those.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know. Good luck. I hope to see the footage. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Except that space travel is fake and the moon landing never happened.
That would be like the first movie ever shot in space, right?
I guess.
Like actually shot in space.
No.
It's pretty cool.
Space is cool. Scary though.
Not as scary as the ocean.
Not as scary as homophobia.
True.
Homophobia. You know what's not in space? Homophobia. No homophobes in space.
For now.
Are you calling Tom Cruise a homophobe?
No, I'm just saying, you know, if we started to colonize
eventually the homophobes will explore. Anyway, this is not homophobic news. This is good news. No gay slurs used by MLB players on field for first time since 2016.
Great job for them.
Which honestly, I'm glad they did it in 2016. Good for that, you know.
Right.
MLB enters its playoffs after the first season since 2016, where there were no recorded gay slurs uttered by a player. So they weren't recorded. They could still be happening.
Yeah.
But nobody caught any, except a broadcaster did have a remark who used a gay slur over a hot mic, and he resigned.
Good.
But he said that the place they're at was the F slur capital of the world, and just really casual.
Good.
like he was like F word capital of the world, and the ball goes up. Like, you know, it just kept going. And he did the same thing in his apology. He was having a very somber looking at the camera. He was like, I'm a man of faith. I want to apologize to the and Arnold makes a long drive to the left side, blah, blah. And then he goes back, I'm really sorry that this happened. So he was just like announcing in the middle of the thing.
Oh no.
Home run thing. Very funny to me.
Yeah.
But you know, the players doing good. Players doing good. I thought it was just a nice segue to get to our spotlight this week.
Spotlight.
Of sports movies.
Sporty movies.
So why don't we start with baseball?
We're just kicking it off. We're going right into Moneyball.
Okay, you want to just start with Moneyball? That's totally...
I figured we'd just go right off the top and we'll just get Moneyball out of the way.
Get Moneyball out of the way.
We can talk about our other films that we chose.
If you rate Moneyball any lower than an 8 out of 10, you are an idiot.
I agree.
Who doesn't understand either baseball or movies, or father-daughter relationships, or what's another thing?
Great movies.
Or Chris Pratt performances, because Chris Pratt is in this movie. So just tell us what what's about. What's the plot?
Moneyball, based on a true story about Billy Beane, general manager of the Oakland Athletics baseball team in 2002.
Yeah.
Well, 2001 and then into 2002.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically about him. He recruits Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
And him and the two of them decide to go on this crazy thing. Crazy thing they do.
What do?
They decide to start doing baseball instead of like picking the good players. The good players that need to get paid a lot since they're a poor team.
Mm-hmm.
They decide to pick the lower end players since their
Cheaper
salary cap is so low. And they try to build a team. They try to build a team that way, and it works.
It works out.
I would say it works.
Yeah, totally.
It definitely changed baseball, for sure.
So we got Brad Pitt, we got Jonah Hill, we got Philip Seymour Hoffman, and we got Chris Pratt showing up for a little bit. So pretty dang good cast. Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, good team. Honestly. I really like their chemistry. Maybe just because they're good actors and they can have good chemistry with anyone, but they especially just seem to gel really well together. Mm-hmm. And this was fat Jonah Hill. This isn't new skinny Jonah Hill. This is good old fashioned Tubbo Jonah Hill.
Tubbo.
Hey, okay, that might be a little rude.
Jeez.
No, he's really good in this, and I like him.
He's great.
No, and I prefer that he's tubby in it. It makes more sense for his character. He probably wouldn't have gotten the part if he was ripped. You know, they need a Tubbo.
They need a Tubbo.
The Indians are in this movie for a little bit. Not the team, but Jonah Hill works for the Indians.
Yeah.
And, that's where he steals him from.
Mm-hmm. How about that? Just like everyone steals everything from the Cleveland Indians.
Aw, that's sad.
I'm gonna cry. Man, I love this movie. This is like top 5 my personal favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I'd have to put it up there as well. It's very well, just on a writing level. Aaron Sorkin writing a lot of the dialogue that is great and awesome and feels very real.
The
Sorkmeister, as we like to call him. That's what all his real fans call him.
Obviously.
And the performances. Philip Seymour Hoffman, again, being able to be believable in any role he does. I'm like, yeah, that dude's a baseball manager, and he has been for 40 years.
Yeah, literally. He's so great.
That's who he is. And Jonah Hill, again, he did mostly comedy before this, I think.
I think so, yeah.
You know, so seeing him do a more dramatic thing.
He's great, yeah.
Yeah, he's going up against, like, Brad Pitt and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and holds his own.
Yeah.
Even saying that is an accomplishment, especially earlier in his career, because this came out in 2011.
Yep.
And so good for him.
My favorite Brad Pitt performance also.
Really? Favorite of all time? I mean, I couldn't say I really disagree. It's killer. Because it's understated to a certain point. Like, he really never goes too crazy in the movie, you know? Because that's kind of part of his character almost, is how reserved he is. And he has this thing where he used to be a baseball player.
Yep.
And he was scouted, and he turned out to be
he was a flop.
He was a bit of a flop, bit of a bad pick. It happens. So he never goes to actually watch the games because he thinks he's bad luck, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
That makes me feel bad. But I thought it just told a lot about his character, just seeing how he felt like almost like guilty about that, you know? I thought that was interesting. But he still stands his ground against when his whole crew of scouters or whatever, you know, were against him with these ideas. But he was able to defend himself and defend Jonah Hill's ideas and work together to get a winning team, you know? Or, you know, mostly winning team.
Yeah, they won 20 games in a row, which is like the most ever, until the Cleveland Indians came through a few years ago. Go Tribe.
Right,
yeah. This movie, I rewatched it for like the 35th time.
Right.
Last week. And I realized, I didn't realize, I think I always knew, but I finally really realized every single scene in this movie is a rewatchable scene. Every single one. Every single one.
Even the scene where she plays guitar in the store?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them.
That's my least favorite scene of the movie. That's why I had to point it out.
Every time, this movie is like super quotable. There's like a million quotes. We always talk about like
quotable movies being good.
It's good. This movie's hella quotable.
Yeah.
And it's just, this movie's hilarious too.
Yeah, it is.
This movie's like super funny.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even call it necessarily like a dramedy, you know? Like, I wouldn't do that. I would just call it a drama with funny bits occasionally, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I know it's not supposed to be funny, But when he does, what is it? He throws the baseball bats against the wall. He's like, that is what losing's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
You know that?
Great scene.
Even though it's really dramatic and obviously everyone in the locker room, like,
It's funny.
you know, it is a really funny scene because it's...
Yeah, and
it's
he walks out
poignant.
and he throws the Gatorade like
Right.
everywhere.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's good.
Right, rewatchable scene right there.
He throws a lot of things.
He does. It is baseballs too.
Yeah, he throws the chair out the door. Remember? It's so great.
But it is weird seeing him be, because I found him very likable. I found every character likable, even when they were being combative. Because like Philip Seymour Hoffman was like, "Oh, you're killing this team with this stupid thing you're doing." He's like, "You're killing this team," you know. But it's his job, so he still went along with it. I guess like chemistry is just the main thing I have to say with this movie. When you have a baseball team, you need a lot of chemistry between the players, and this film just has a lot of chemistry between the actors and everything. You know, I was just impressed by how well it flowed and everything felt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know? So can I ask you, just because I think it's only fair, what is your least favorite? Like, what's a criticism you have? If you've got to have at least one, even if it's like superficial, like, oh, I don't like Jonah Hill's hair. Like, I don't care.
I
do like Jonah Hill's hair.
This movie's
that,
like very perfect.
I know. That's why I have to force myself sometimes.
Let me think. What do I not like? If there's anything that I don't like, there's I got it. The very end of the movie, Brad Pitt is driving in his car, and he puts in the CD that his daughter made for him.
Right.
And he's listening to it, and the camera's like very, very super slowly zooming in on his face as he's like starting to cry or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, this is a great shot. Keep on zooming in.
And it cut.
But then they cut.
Yeah.
And that.
So you wanted a portrait of a lady on fire.
Yes.
All right.
I suppose. I guess that's like the one thing that could be like, damn it.
But that song is great though.
Yes.
You're such a loser, Dad. You're such a loser, Dad.
Great stuff.
That is great. I thought, well, no, I can't even say that. I guess sometimes the daughter scenes got to me a little bit. Like
bothered you?
Yeah, it bothered me. Like sometimes I just felt like, okay, this scene's like just like a hair too long.
Are you gonna lose your job?
Right. Okay. But that's like such a slight thing, and I think it's just because I hate kids. So it's, I don't know. But I do like the kids thing because I like the song and I like the relationship. I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess the stepdad bothered me.
He's like, I don't even remember his name.
Right, yeah.
He's not important.
I don't know.
Screw him.
Screw the stepdad.
It's all about Billy Bean.
It's all about Billy Bean.
My main man. What a great movie.
Please, guys, cannot recommend it enough. Go ahead and watch it. Is it on Netflix still?
Moneyball. It's coming to Netflix. I think like now.
Oh.
It's like early October. I know they said it was, so it'll be on Netflix.
If you guys have
for
Netflix.
now until it goes away.
Check
Watch
it out.
a million times.
Yes. So
please.
So let's move on to our second place baseball movie picks.
Second place sports movie. Moneyball's the best sports movie.
It is the best sports movie, bar none. Not just baseball, just sports movie. It's Moneyball. Simple as that. So for baseball, would you like to start or shall I?
You go first.
1989.
What a good year. Great. 1989. I wasn't alive, but had to probably be a good time.
The Cleveland Indians. Major League is the baseball movie that I would like to talk about, which you've seen, I presume.
Yes.
Indians make good baseball movies. You got Moneyball and you got Major League.
What can we say?
We need a new one. We need a new Indians. Even if they show up for just 10 seconds, it'll make the movie better, I guess.
Absolutely.
Maybe they should get out of the baseball business and just start a movie studio. Anyway, Major League from 1989. It's got Charlie Sheen in it, and he's younger.
Charlie Sheen.
He's really cool in this movie. I like his character a lot.
Wild thing.
Yeah, you make my heart
sing.
Yeah. So this is about a team of absolute buffoons, absolute losers, a has-been and a bunch of will-never-bees, I think one of the characters says. And they suck. And basically, like she's the manager or something. She's
the new general manager.
Yeah, she's the new general manager.
Wants to make a team that sucks.
She wants them to suck on purpose, and they catch wind of this plan, and they're like, "Well, you know what? Screw that lady. we're gonna be good just to spite her and
That's
watch her get naked.
I love that part. He's like, you know what we have to do? Let's just win the whole fucking thing. I was
right,
like,
exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, it is a good turnaround for that. Yeah, and that's the movie. They get that and they're like, okay, we got to be good. We got to shape up. We got to train and
then they get good.
Do good, and then they get good. The main thing I want to say about this film, which is why I picked it as opposed to a lot of other baseball films which are considered good, I was looking around, and a lot of people consider a film called Bull Durham to be like the best baseball movie. And that is a very good film. It's very... Just talk about Bull Durham for a second. It's raunchy. You know, it's comedy. It's got Tim Robbins. And it's a very... It's a comedy. It's got funny parts. But it is actually a surprisingly introspective film by the end of it.
Okay.
Which I didn't catch on to until the movie ended. I was like, wow, this movie's actually really about like these internal struggles, you know, and everything. And it was very effective in that way. But the reason I picked Major League is because Major League captures the feeling of like going to a baseball game. When I watch Major League, it feels like I'm watching the same feeling I get when I watch a baseball game. You know what I mean? That excitement and everything.
Yeah.
Like I thought it captured it
like
so
that.
well because a lot of the movie is also commentated by a commentator, you know, just a bit outside.
Oh yeah.
You know what everyone says. So a lot of it has that commentary on top of it, so you kind of just get put in that mood, you know, and I just think it's really effective at hyping you up. The ending is super, you know, you want them to win so badly, even if you don't care about the Indians specifically. This is obviously a fictional Indians. You still want them to win. It's the underdog story that everyone loves, you know. I mean, most sports movies
are underdog
are there any sports movies that aren't, where they're just like, I need to keep...
He's like, I'm the best, and I'm going to keep on being the best.
Yeah, that probably is. But yeah, I just really dug that. What are your thoughts on the film?
I just rewatched it recently.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's way funnier than I remember.
Yeah.
It's like super funny movie. You know, it's got the great baseball scenes. It's got like everyone knows Wild Thing. That's one of like, that's like an all-timer.
Forget the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like an all-time scene when he comes out and pitches against the big dude.
I thought it was funny. They had a lot of like almost like cutaway scenes with like people in the crowd or stuff that I just found like hilarious. Like there was a group of like 4 fans that they would like cut to who'd be doing different things, and I just found them so funny whenever they cut to them. Yeah,
they're the dudes.
The announcer or commentator doing his thing, being like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Nobody's listening anyway." You know.
Yeah.
I thought he was really funny.
At like the beginning, like their first game of the season, he's like, "And here comes the tribe coming out to take the field. Listen to the crowd roar." And he like puts the mic out, and there's like nobody in the stands. Yeah. It's so good.
No, it is. It's just very funny. I feel like this is probably a lot of people's favorite baseball. Everybody who hasn't seen Moneyball probably thinks Major League is the best baseball movie.
Especially if you live in Ohio.
It's hard not to have that attachment to it. It is. I don't know the story of why it's the Indians and not like fictional team.
I don't know.
But I'm glad it is.
I love it. Yeah,
I'm glad it is. What did you pick?
Right.
For baseball.
The movie that I picked for my baseball movie is The Benchwarmers.
The Benchwarmers.
I don't remember what year this movie came out. It was probably like 2007.
Something like that. Yeah, sure.
2006 maybe.
This movie is... okay, maybe it's a little aged. I'll be real.
I haven't seen it in a while, so...
It has been a second. But as long as you aren't gay or a little person, you'll find nothing to hate in this movie.
Right.
No, but it stars Rob Schneider, David Spade, and I feel really bad, John Heder, Napoleon Dynamite, as the 3 main dudes.
Right.
Yeah, this is your thing, so
I don't remember who starred in it.
Okay, well it's them, but just say the movie, like what happens.
Oh, the Benchwarmers. They play they put 3 people on a baseball team, which makes no sense.
Not really.
But they suck. And there's 2 of them suck.
Yeah, Rob Schneider's a beast.
Yeah, he's like straight. He's striking everybody out.
Rob
he's
Schneider,
hitting home runs every time.
The guy who in every other movie plays the creepy, sexless weirdo maniac. In this movie, he's the cool guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's freaking hitting home runs every time he's up. And they they get good
Mm-hmm.
and they beat all the teams and they become the bestest.
Yeah. And then they get sponsored. Well, it's earlier on, but they get sponsored by a rich dude, John Lovitz, and he helps them on their way, and he's got a robot.
Right. Yes, the robot.
Number 7, I think is his name. And then the ending is, they started the team kind of because they wanted to show that, like, bullies don't win. It's like, bullies are bad. Don't be a bully. And so at the end of the movie, they bring in the new bench warmers, or like the real bench warmers, and it's all the kids who got picked on, and they get to play baseball. And the enemy team's like, oh, what a bunch of idiots. They're going to lose super hard, But then the kids on the other team are like, you know what? You're the loser, coach. And they help the team, and they play badly on purpose, and they get the bench warmers to win. And it's,
heartwarming moment.
It is. I remember liking the movie quite a bit. I've seen it a lot.
I've seen it a few times for sure.
Every time I watched it, there was this one weekend. I did this with a lot of movies.
Okay.
But there used to be weekends where I would be stuck inside and have nothing to do, and I would just watch the same movie over and over again. Not literally sitting and watching it, but just when it would stop, I'd go back into the room, turn it back on so there'd be noise, So I've watched this movie in like every language. And I've watched it with like both commentary tracks. But the commentary track with David Spade and John Heder, if that's his name, I hope I'm getting it right. It's actually super funny.
Yeah.
Because they just like rag on the movie. I mean, they're, comic actors, so they have funny stories. And yeah, I would recommend that if you've seen the movie already and you haven't listened to that commentary, go ahead and listen to it. Actually,
yes, I like commentaries.
Any David Spade movie, I found he makes funny commentaries. He just has fun with it and gives a little extra tidbits to it.
Pizzazz.
Yeah. Rob Schneider couldn't be there for the Benchwarmers one though, so
unbelievable.
Well, he's there for the beginning and then he leaves.
In the middle?
No, just he goes, "Hey, I'm Rob Schneider. Hey," and he leaves.
Dang,
that's a joke. David Spade does an impression, pretends to be Rob Schneider.
Oh, why? I wouldn't know.
I know you haven't listened to the commentary.
Yeah, Benchwarmer. Everyone's.
What I said about gays and little people, just so for context.
Oh,
there is a character played by Kevin Farley, Chris Farley's brother, I think, who and his I guess boyfriend, I don't know. But there's a coach with a friend who, wears a like neon green Speedo and eats chips in a pool and cries, and it's just pretty, whatever. And they poke fun at it. It's like, oh, look at the tough man coach. He likes pee. Ha ha ha. So maybe those jokes today a little bit. They make a few jokes at the expense of a little person actor. Even after they've said that it was like, oh, it's bad to bully, they still kind of bully him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he gets lifted up in the air. I don't know. You'd have to watch it. It still is not great. I think they call him Yoda or something.
Oh, geez.
At some point. So I don't know, but still good. I think.
From what I remember, it's good. I hope it hasn't aged the best.
Maybe not. But you know what? I liked, what's his name? Howie? The creepy brother, David Spade's brother, who like was afraid of the sunlight.
Oh yeah, he's afraid of the sun.
Yeah, he's afraid of the sun, so he just freaks out and can't be under the sun. There's this part of the scene where he's getting ready to do the big. They need him to do the big hit to get on base so that they can win the game. And right. It's this big dramatic. Everybody's like, "You can do it. You just gotta hit the ball, okay? And you're getting ready. You think he's gonna do a home run, and he just gets like beamed by the ball, and starts crying. Like, ah! And they're like, "You gotta go to first. You did it!" And they win the game. Spoilers.
Who hasn't seen this movie?
Benchwarmers? I am 12.
I am 12. What is
12?
He's like, and you see some birth certificate, and he's like on crayon.
Yeah, red crayon on a piece of paper with
and he's like, all right,
cutout picture. Well, and $20.
Right, yeah.
So
he's like, all right,
play ball.
Play ball.
Good film.
Yeah.
Let's move on to basketball.
The next sport.
Yeah. Why don't you start?
Basketball. The movie that I chose for basketball is The Way Back.
I haven't seen it.
From 2020.
Yeah. So this is brand new.
This movie's got Ben Affleck,
Ooh.
the main character. It's kind of like his comeback movie.
Is he the back?
I don't know how to respond. He was a like all-star high school basketball player for his team, his Catholic high school.
Cool.
And then he became like a super alcoholic.
Okay.
And he like hates himself.
What about the character in the movie though?
Well, that's the point. This movie is like about Ben Affleck.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's basically about Ben Affleck, like, and his road to coming back, basically.
Right, yeah.
So he's like a super mega alcoholic, and
expialidocious. Super mega alcoholic expialidocious.
That's good.
Yeah.
And he gets a call from the Catholic high school.
High school, yeah.
And they're like, "Yo, our coach quit.
Right.
We want you to coach," because he used to be like the best player there, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm an alcoholic now. I don't know if I can do it."
It's like the kids will love it.
And then he ends up doing it anyway, and he coaches the team. And he coaches the team. I don't know. Should I spoil? I don't think I don't. Or
it's really new, so it's up to you. It's really new.
But for you personally,
I mean, is it a real spoiler, or is it gonna take away from the movie if I know what you're about to tell me?
probably.
Oh, okay.
It's
then
kind of
don't
like
tell me. Sure, yeah.
because it's kind of like a big moment, but then I can't really go into like that part and like the ending at all.
You can't talk around it.
Not
if you liked it or
really.
not.
I did like it. I
Okay.
did like this movie. I chose it.
Did you like it because it was a new direction? Did you like it because it was like flipping your expectations?
Yes, it is very interesting. About like probably like 75% through the movie, it takes a interesting turn, and I was like, oh, but then it ends up having like a happy ending anyway, and I felt good. But I was kind of mad because at the end, like something's happening, and like the camera's like pulling back, and I was just watching, and I was like, okay, and then I was like, wait. The movie's going to end right now.
And then there's a person with a boom. And Ben Affleck goes, cut.
Yeah. And I was like, I started to get mad. I was like, wait, the movie can't end right now. But then I was like, I guess it's kind of a good ending.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it ends, and I was like, dang.
Very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, it's good. It's kind of funny, too, because he's like an alcoholic, but he's trying to like overcome that, obviously, throughout the film. But he's at a Catholic high school, but during the games and stuff, he's just like, fuck you, motherfucker. You fucking, this call fucking sucked, ref.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And the priest guy who like goes to all the games, he's like, listen, you're going to like not do that. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'll try better.
Right.
So that's just kind of funny.
So is this a drama or is this bit of a...
It's a drama.
It is just drama? Okay.
For sure. Yes, I very much enjoyed. I would recommend.
Anybody else in it that I would know? Or?
I didn't recognize anybody.
Okay.
But that could just be me being stupid.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck carries.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max.
HBO Max. Cool.
Can you believe it? I think it's on another one too, but I'm not sure. I watched it on HBO Max.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. But yeah, the way back, it's new.
Oh,
I think it might be on Amazon Prime too.
To rent or like actually Prime?
I think it's on Prime.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Is it one of those Amazon movies? Because I know they're spilling those out all the time.
I don't think it's an Amazon movie.
Okay. If it was on HBO Max, that'd be surprising if it was.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll have to add that to my watch list.
It is good. I would recommend.
I think
especially if you like Ben Affleck and just like the idea of Ben Affleck.
I think my watch list is at like 493 right now. So we can make it 494. Perfect. And that's not even all of them. That's all I could remember to watch. My basketball one, this might be a little controversial, but like I really think when you think about it and think about what basketball actually means, that there's no other choice. Catwoman is a film like no other. Okay, jokes aside, 1994. This is actually a documentary called Hoop Dreams. Which you watched. You watched this one as well.
I did. I have seen this.
3 hours long.
Very long.
Pretty long documentary. Probably didn't have to be that long.
Very much too long for me.
But it wasn't that awful. I can actually tell you exactly when I was like, okay, this is going to be too long. It was the halfway point. Because the halfway point, I was loving like hour and a half in, because I paused it right there because I had to go to the bathroom. Hour and a half in, I was loving it. I was like, wow, this is really good. I'm really invested in these these people. And then I went to the bathroom, I came back and I pressed play, and then I was like, oh, I'm halfway through. I've got another hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it follows two boys, Arthur Agee and William Gates. I think I got that right.
That was good, yeah.
Yeah. Who are 14 or like 14-ish. They're freshmen in high school at the beginning of the documentary, and it ends when they're freshmen in college, basically.
Yeah.
Like right before, like them going off to college is pretty much the end of the documentary. So this is like a 5-year project, and they love basketball, and it's just them basically trying to
Get to the
big.
NBA.
Yeah, get to the NBA, and how it's their dream, and it's their like, they even say it's like their ticket out of the ghetto and everything like that. And while this movie is effective in just like basketball, because there are a lot of scenes where this is probably the scenes that I would actually cut out the most, is every time there was a basketball game that happened that they talked about, they would always, I don't know if it was trying to keep people invested, but the Steve, one of the documentarians, would say something like, the team started out strong, but then it went bad, but then it went good again, or something like that.
Yeah.
They would always turn it like multiple ways, and I know that's how actual games go, but when you're on like the 17th game in this documentary, it's like, just tell me how it went. You don't need to play with my emotions, like whatever. When it comes to like the actual final like championship game or whatever, sure, do it as many times as you want, that's okay. But when it's like, oh, this is the 3rd game of the season, just calm that down a little bit, because it just bloated it for no reason, I felt. But again, this came out in 1994. I wasn't even alive, so
Same.
What can I say? But more than just basketball, it is a subtle, like, it's not saying anything directly, but it's commentary on school systems, on just how kids can almost be, I don't want to say like bred, but made for their only use being basketball. Like they say they scouted kids when they were like 12 to like come to the NBA, and like going that young and being like almost predatory about it to a certain extent. And how you can think of when everybody around them is pushing them to do basketball, and then being like surprised when their grades slip, where they're saying basketball is the only thing that will help them get out of the ghetto. Basketball is the only thing that's going to make your life better. And then when they start falling behind in grades, everyone's like, what happened? It's kind of surprising to see that. And it made me, I don't know if it was going this way, but it just made me think of like, why do people think a lot of specifically black children, want to be NBA stars when they grow up? Is it because that's where they mostly see black people in general? If they saw more black politicians, if they saw more black filmmakers, everything like that, they probably want to be those other things as well. But when 90% of the black people they see in media, especially at the time 1994, would be in basketball games, it would make sense that they want to be. I don't think it's a cause and effect thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's because that's where they see their idols. They don't have idols anywhere else. They have to get those first to be able to look up to those people and want to aspire to be them. So it made me think of that. It was a very interesting thought to have while I was watching the documentary, and I just got connected to these children, and who are now like 40 something, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I believe one of them, William Gates, is a pastor now, I think in like Texas.
Oh.
That's what he's doing, and they both had like I think Arthur Agee had like a foundation for kids getting to basketball and everything like that. Pretty sure neither of them actually made it to the NBA in the end.
No, well, it says that Arthur, he like quit, right? Arthur was the one, or was William the one that quit? William quits, and then Arthur, it said he continued to try, but
yeah. So it is weird when you're taking this. I mean, I guess when you're thinking about how many people make it in the NBA, what are the chances that the two people that they had been doing the documentary on would have actually ended up making it, even though they were star prospects? There's a lot of star prospects.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when it's real life, because it's hard to say like anything about what actually happened, as far as like plot and flow of the thing goes.
Right, yeah.
But it all just kind of came together well, and was a very it's a very good look into this time period, 1994, and how things were for people then and how things are viewed.
Mm.
If anything, I wish they would talk more about the school system, and they got into like just the condition of where they lived a little bit, like drug dealing and everything. They tapped on it. If anything, I wish it would have delved into that a little bit more, especially with its 3-hour runtime already.
Yeah.
I wish it would have devoted a little bit more time to that, but I was still satisfied with the overall message. It stayed very focused, and it was able to touch on other things. So overall, that's why I picked it. Good basketball documentary.
Great basketball documentary.
Yeah. Football.
My least favorite of the big three sports.
Yes, I agree.
Also, I got a hot take inbound about football movies specifically.
Football. Okay.
Football, of all the sports movies, football has the worst movies out of all of the sports movies.
I told you earlier before we started the show that I had bonus questions that I wanted to ask after we had done it. My question was going to be, which movies do you think have the worst? Which sport do you think has the worst movies?
It's football, and it's like not close.
It's football.
It's
football.
not close. Football has kind of rough.
Yeah,
it has some good ones, but I mean,
there are a lot, but they're like none of them. I mean, there's the slaughter rule, which is just like so good.
We talked about it on the Amy Adams episode.
Of course,
it's just incredible.
No, but really, there aren't a lot of good ones at all. And there's probably a lot of like okay ones that are just like fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like the great football movie has probably already been made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see much of a future for it. I don't know. But is football the most popular though?
In America, probably.
Yeah. I think it is because Super Bowl is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is. That's funny how it doesn't have the best movies.
Right.
It's like so popular.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very strange. And yeah, it's probably actually, besides racing, and I don't really watch. Okay, I guess. But yeah, big three, least favorite sport, just as an actual sport. I'd rather watch baseball or basketball any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Screw football. Let's skip it. We're not going to talk about the football.
Screw our football movies.
No, okay. I picked a 1993 film, which you've seen, which is Rudy.
Rudy.
Marilyn, say it.
Rudy.
Based on a true story, which was very cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. It's like Daniel E. Rudiger or something is his name. He's a tiny,
also known as Sam.
Yes, also known as Sam.
Rings.
He's a tiny man. He's
a hobbit.
He's tiny. And he really wants to go to Notre Dame because it's his dad's favorite team, and it's ever since he was a kid, that's always what he's wanted to do. But he's too small, and the high school people were like, "You can't go there. You're dumb and small." He was like, "Okay."
He's like, "I'm gonna be smart and small now."
Yeah, I'm gonna be smart and small. I can't really do anything about my size. And so the high school people tell him he can't do it. So he's like, "Oh, he can't do it." So he works for 4 years to save up the money to go to college. Long story short, he ends up going to college. He ends up making it on the team. He ends up playing one play.
He gets to play finally. He actually gets to, they call it like dressing for the game, because
Yeah.
he never gets to dress for the game.
Yeah, he never
he's
gets
mostly
to
on the
dress the
practice
game,
squad.
so he doesn't even get to be on the sidelines. Then eventually, the whole team are like, "Hey, coach, if you don't let him dress, none of us are going to play."
Right, because he inspires them.
Because he inspires them because he works so
With his hard
with his
work.
diligence. And so he's like, fine, he can dress, but he's putting him on the bench the whole time.
Mm.
And then the game's about to end, and they have like a good lead, right?
They're smoking him.
Yeah, so they're like, "Coach, come on." And the coach is like, "No."
And then they get the whole crowd to chant Rudy.
They get the whole crowd chant Rudy, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I guess.
Whatever.
Whatever." And he comes on, and he gets to play like
two.
Two.
He gets to
You're
play
right,
two
you're
plays.
Right, yeah. He gets to play
The kickoff,
2 plays, and
then
he
another play.
gets does he get the sack?
Yeah, in the last
yeah.
play, he sacks the quarterback,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is crazy.
It is crazy, but he's small. He can get
Yeah.
through whatever. And they lift him up, and they go, "Rudy, Rudy," and they cheer him. They carry him off the field, and he was like the only person to ever be carried off the Notre Dame field ever, unless something's happened.
I think it said that was the last time that anyone's
the
ever
last
been
time
carried
since
off. Or
1993.
like no one's been carried off the field since then.
Since 1993.
No, that's when the movie came out.
Oh yeah.
whenever it was. I think it's like the 70s in the movie.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the end. It actually ends kind of.
Yeah, it just ends.
It just ends.
They're like, no one else has been carried off the field, and then it just ends. You're
Yeah,
like, okay.
it's like Kiki's Delivery Service. It just ends. It's just over, and you're like, well, I guess there's nothing really to talk about. Because here's the thing. If the movie kept going on, it would stop being as inspirational. Because it would go, okay, Rudy, you got to do it. Now what? Fuck. What the fuck do I do now? I've accomplished my dream and I had nothing else. I guess I go back to the steel mill in the same life that I had. And for the rest of my life, I go to the bar and I act like, no, I get addicted to meth and I'm like, I knocked down Sugar Ray. Remember that? And I do a bunch of meth and I run away from my mom.
Jeez.
Because that's,
When you
I
put
mean,
it
that's
that
what
way.
happened. Because, like, really, it's not much of an accomplishment. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But, like,
right.
oh, you got to play one play in college football. Cool, Rudy. It's good that you did this, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
And the movie does actually touch on that, like, very lightly, because they don't want to take away from the janitor who used to be a football player.
Yes.
They touch on it very lightly, but really he says, like, the only person it needs to matter to is, like, you, is basically what he says. Like, it's all about you, you know, what you want to accomplish. So I think that's why the movie ends so abruptly, because if it went on any longer, it would get depressing fast.
Yeah, right?
Because, you know, I don't know. That's all I have to say about Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy, it's all right.
It's
Good
okay.
movie.
It's okay. I don't want to say toothless. I feel like that's the wrong way to put it. But you know, it's just charming, fun. It's wholesome. It's wholesome.
Very wholesome.
It's just a wholesome movie where Rudy doesn't really have a flaw other than he's small and dumb, but he doesn't have any like negative traits. You know, he's not mean except for like once. You know, where he like storms off and abandons the team for like 10 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
he's not
like I quit.
He's not a sexist. He's not a drinker. He's not
A homophobe.
a homophobe. You know, he's flawless, except he's tiny. So when you make a character like that, it always makes for a pretty wholesome experience. I don't know. What about your football movie?
I have chosen. Do you remember the Titans?
The Titans. Oh, yeah, that's the one where he cuts off Medusa's head and the Kraken comes out and then...
Yes.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Remember
Clash of the Titans. The best football movie ever.
Could we have chosen Gladiator?
Is
Not for football, but
Not
I mean
for
just
football.
for sports in general. Like, it's it's a sport.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I
guess
would
we
let
could've.
it slide. I would
Okay,
allow it.
Okay, but anyway, remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
This was the movie I was kind of alluding to when I said I think maybe the best football movie has already been made.
Yes, it probably is.
You know, because this is like what everybody thinks of when you think football movie.
Yeah.
You think, oh, remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington comes in to be the coach of the Titans.
Yeah.
I don't even
Remember
I
them.
don't remember where they're from. Is this based on a true story?
I don't know. I don't know this.
It could be,
Could be.
but I am not 100% sure or whatever. And they win. Great job for the Titans.
Yeah.
They win.
But they
He
actually
coaches
win.
them and they win.
But that actually is the thing. They actually do win. You know, a lot of movies you see, they don't win, but they're like, oh, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, right?
They
No,
go
they
up,
win.
They win, which is all that really matters.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad, too, because the one guy, like, gets in the crash, and then he's, like, paralyzed.
No, it's a very emotionally engaging film. Like when you're on a team, you get close to everybody on a team. I feel like you feel a bit of that camaraderie when you watch the movie, like Remember the Titans, you know?
For sure.
Where you feel for them a lot. You know, you feel like you're side by side, you know? It's like, this is our game, people on the TV.
Yeah. And, like, the main theme of the movie is, like, racism.
No. Well, race. There's a better way to word that.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. And basically how they come together
Yeah.
on the football
For
team.
racism.
Yes, they're like, yes, please.
No.
They overcome their differences.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they become friends. And there's a lot of good scenes that like show that. Like, there's one time where like some of the teammates, they want to go into like this one store or whatever, but the owner of this like cafe store is like a racist, and he's like, I won't let him in my store, and they're like, you're fucking stupid, we're leaving.
I think I watched this movie. This might be the movie that made me realize racism was a thing. When I watched it when I was a kid. Like, I'm serious.
You were like, oh, racism is real.
But really, did anybody else have this experience where you didn't know racism was a thing? Because racism is totally learned. Like, you know, it. Other than, I mean, maybe like people who, when I grew up, there was black people around me. They weren't like, I've never seen one before. If like people in Africa who've never seen white people, they're obviously like shocked a lot of time, and that might turn to hate or something, you know, when you actually don't know something. But other than that, those extreme circumstances, racism is learned. It's what you're taught. So this might be the movie that taught me that racism was a thing, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Interesting.
I don't know. Did you not have that?
Well, I saw this movie like 3 years ago.
Right. Okay.
So I would hope that I knew about racism 3 years ago. Otherwise, I've been in big trouble my whole life.
Right.
I've just been living on my own world. So no, I did not have that same experience that you had, but I guess I would have.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Denzel Washington.
This is one of his best performances. Not his best, but one of his best.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of good speeches. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about Remember the Titans. I mean,
watch it.
Just watch it. I mean, if you're going to watch any football movie, Remember the Titans is probably the one that you're going to want to watch.
So let's name, what are some others, since we said football doesn't really have a lot, name some others that you think are like The Blind Side. I remember liking it when I watched it, but I didn't
Blind
think it was
Side
great.
is not aged well.
It hasn't? Okay.
I don't think so.
I mean, I only saw it when it came out, and I was like, oh, that seems pretty interesting. I definitely
it's still
remember.
All right, but
I remember it feeling like a TV movie, kind of.
it is, and it's kind of like a white savior type movie.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Oh yeah, because it's all about
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. I was thinking Sarah Bullock, and I couldn't think of Sandra. Sarah Bullock taking him. Yeah, I get that.
So it's kind of weird, but I mean, it's still like an all right movie.
Right. Yeah.
The
Longest Yard.
Yeah. The Replacements. It's a good one. The Game Plan.
What is it? What's the one? Invincible, I think.
I think that's a rugby movie, I thought.
Is it? I don't know. I just heard that people like it.
It has Matt Damon, right? That's what you're thinking of? I think that's a rugby movie.
I don't like rugby.
We Are Marshall. One's all right. That one's sad.
I thought that was Matt Damon.
That's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh. Well.
That movie's sad. Yeah. See, there's not many great football movies.
Yeah. Someone needs to fill that void.
So, you know. And there's Draft Day, which I haven't seen, but apparently people like Draft Day, I guess. Good for them.
Friday Night Lights.
Isn't that a TV show? Or is that a movie first?
I think it's a Clint Eastwood joint. Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen that, so.
I don't know if it's good.
I don't know. Football, meh.
Football, meh. But racing,
broom.
Why don't you go first?
For racing, I have chosen another documentary. But I feel like we've been talking about documentaries a lot. But who cares? Because documentaries are good.
They are good.
I chose the documentary Senna,
which I watched on your recommendation after you saw it. It is on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it is. It follows Ayrton.
Ayrton
Senna. That's his last name.
His last name
you
is
can
Senna.
get that one easy. And basically how he came into Formula One and like totally owned.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of about his life.
Literally, we just said, is there a movie where someone comes out and is the best and is like, I'm going to stay the best? It's Senna.
Oh, and that's a true story.
And it's a true story. He came from like a really rich family and he decided one day, hey, I want to be a Formula One racer. So he just did it. And he was really good at it.
Really, really good.
And then we'll continue.
It just follows his life. He has a big rivalry with one of his teammates that turns sour.
Yeah.
Lots of good drama. And then tragically, he passed away in an accident during a race.
In the race, yeah. He was a very reckless driver, which is part of what made him good because he was willing to take the risks, put himself and others, to be fair, at risk when he did these maneuvers, getting really close to other drivers.
Yeah.
And everything, because, it could turn really bad if someone landed on the track. It could take out a lot of people. So a lot of people criticized him for that, and he didn't take kind of that. He always defended himself in those ways.
Yeah. I also think that throughout the documentary, it also shows that he was actually very like pro safety.
Yeah.
Like he really tries in a lot of the like not team, but like the driver meetings, before the races, he would like try to like make sure that like the track is safer. Like the tires, I don't think they should be there because if you hit the tires, you're going to flip over or whatever.
But I think even with that, I think even him thinking he's being as safe as possible doesn't mean he is.
Right, yeah.
I think that was kind of like his major flaw, was that. Did you know about him? I know you were into racing more about NASCAR, so.
I didn't know. I'm not super well versed on Formula One, but I feel like I would have heard of him, but I didn't, because I've heard of like some other Formula One drivers. But like when they like right at the beginning, they're like racing and they're like Ayrton Senna's in first place, Niki Lauda's in second. I'm like, I know Niki Lauda,
yeah,
from Rush,
right, yeah.
But yeah, no. So this was like basically all completely new to me.
Same here.
Shoot, I just had something I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. I'll give it a second.
I can't. I don't know what happened.
What I thought was, I thought his death was very powerful in the way it was presented in this documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And what I also thought was interesting, that it said that his death was the last since...
Right. That's what I was going to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
So the movie came out in like 2009 or something like that.
I think it was 10, but...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. And it said that he was the last person to die in Formula One up to that date. But I'm pretty sure, like I'm 90% sure, that somebody did die like in like 2014 or something.
Okay, gotcha.
Due to a Formula One accident.
They said it for him. It was, well, they didn't know for sure. It was all like conjecture. It was just talking about what could have happened. So they basically just dedicated to making sure the cars were as safe as possible. And that the track was always fine, and that's why they were able to avoid any more accidents for the most part.
Yeah, they just made new like safety protocol things or whatever.
But no, very good documentary. It was like all clips and interviews. There wasn't a overarching narrator, man. It was all the interviews and clips, which I think is a really effective way of doing documentaries. It's like my preferred way of viewing them as well, is ones that go that way. Very, very good.
Yeah, and it has like really cool, like the on-car like cameras that they had. They are going so fast. Like, you never realize how fast they're going.
Yeah.
Until like it put you in like the front seat with Senna, and he's just like zooming
like
around the
track.
track.
The footage was like fast forwarded.
Yeah, he is going so fast. And then, yeah, like you said, with the part in the movie where he crashes and dies. I mean, you're in first person all the way until he hits the wall.
Yeah.
And that was like, because I was just watching, because I didn't know, obviously, that he passed away or anything. And I was just watching, and then he just, and I was like, whoa.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, very powerful documentary. That was very good.
Very good. My pick for racing is a newer movie. Came out in 2019.
Yeah, baby.
Ford v. Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
We loved this movie.
Yes.
We did. I don't know. You see a lot of criticism for this film, and a lot of it I get.
Yeah.
But I guess I just don't care, because I had a good time. This movie probably, I said like Major League captures like the feeling of going to a baseball game. This movie has scenes where I feel like I'm sitting in the passenger seat of a race car, like that one guy who started bawling.
Yes.
With all the sound design, sound editing, sound mixing going on, especially because we saw it in an IMAX theater.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely helped it. Really feel you feel your shake rumbling. Your shake. I was going to say...
My milkshake was just like flying everywhere.
You feel your seat shaking / rumbling. And, you hear it going on. You hear the gear changes, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
You really feel like you're there. Just testosterone and adrenaline to the max is this film. So it follows. I don't remember their names. Do you? that kind of stuff evades me.
Shelby.
There's
Scott
Shelby?
Carol Shelby.
Oh, it's Carol? Okay.
Yeah, Carol Shelby.
Sure.
And Ken Miles.
All right. Wow, good for you.
Yep.
And they're basically going with Ford to get a model of the car in Le Mans
To win the Le Mans.
to beat Ferrari. You know,
Right.
that's where the Ford v Ferrari comes from.
Yes.
And well, they don't do it, but they do it.
What do you mean?
Well, because they don't win, but they do win. Well, no, I mean they do win, but they don't win.
Right.
Remember?
It's stupid.
Because it's stupid.
Stupid rule.
And it's another true story based on, right?
Yeah.
Very stupid rule, but it works for the film. I mean, it was real life, but it's
Yeah,
still
right. That's
actually
what
like works for the
happens.
movie. Performances again.
Great. This is my favorite Matt Damon performance.
Oh, me too. I don't think anything even comes close. I love Matt Damon in this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
Christian
great.
Bale is also
Christian Bale's great.
great as always. But no, Matt Damon, terrific.
He goes crazy.
He does go crazy. Any problems I would have with this film is probably writing stuff.
Mm.
You know, a lot of the other characters. There's like a meanie businessman character.
Oh yeah.
who, when he shows up on screen, most of the time I'm like, oh, okay, let's blah 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 blah. You know, let's move on maybe.
You need to kill Ken to reel it in.
Yeah. So he was maybe the down part of the movie, but the rest of it, I guess you could call it by the numbers, and it's, I don't know if you would call it like Hollywood. You know, it's pretty, it's well put together, it's like pretty pristine in its presentation, and I guess people took a problem with that a little bit. I saw that as a thing, but it's from James Mangold, right? Who did Logan? Yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good. Like, you know,
I love it. Yeah.
You said you rewatched it, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've seen this movie like probably like way too many times than
Okay.
I should have, because, or at least like the final like half of it, because I get home from work like really early in the morning.
Right.
And I like to eat breakfast when I get home. And, you know, put on the TV when I'm eating breakfast, scrolling through for like a whole like 2 weeks straight. Ford v Ferrari was just on HBO. And I was just like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And I would just like watch the last 45 minutes of it over and over and over for like the 2 weeks in a row. So, yes, I have seen it in its whole at least twice. But
Okay.
I've seen the final hour or so like
Multiple times.
a lot of times.
A lot of times.
The final scene like makes me cry now every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really gets me.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah, Matt Damon, he really rocks in that scene. I love him.
Very cool. Ford v Ferrari, it's new. I know some people only like to watch new movies.
Well, here you
So
go.
This is 2019, so go ahead and check it out. And The Way Back, because that's literally new.
Yeah, like very, very new.
So we have 2 more categories that we're going to go to, but the one we're going to next is boxing or fighting, you know, that kind of deal is what we're going for. So I think I chose an interesting pick for mine.
Sure.
Movie from 2015, which I think kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Ooh.
And that movie I'm talking about is Creed. Now, you know what Creed is, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Creed, we saw it together. Creed is a Rocky, what would you call it? Spin-off, I guess?
Kind of, but it's kind of a sequel.
Yeah.
Two.
But there is a second one that I haven't seen.
I have not seen Creed 2 either.
So I wouldn't know if you would consider it a spin-off because it got a sequel that I assume still has Sylvester Stallone in it.
Yeah, it can't really... It's not a spin-off. It's a sequel.
Okay, sure.
I would call it a sequel to Rocky 5 or whatever.
Well, wouldn't it be a sequel to Rocky Balboa? Because there was Rocky 1 through 5 and then Rocky Balboa and then Creed, I think.
Okay, well then, yeah. Whatever the last Rocky movie is, then
I
Creed.
think. I might be wrong. I think it's the best Rocky movie since Rocky. Or Rocky 2, if you feel a certain way about Rocky 2, I guess.
Yeah.
To be fair, here's the thing. This is directed by Ryan Coogler.
Coogmeister.
Did he do it exactly after Fruitvale Station? I'm not sure. But it's Michael B. Jordan. as Adonis Creed, I think was his name. Apollo Creed's son.
Yeah.
And the movie is kind of Rocky 1, and that's kind of the point as well, is that it is not exactly beat for beat, but a lot of the same elements hit as the original Rocky movie, and actually some of the sequel stuff they throw in there as well. But it tries to reclaim its own identity with someone who, this is kind of like what we said before. He kind of does, not as a fighter, but he does have a stable life, at the beginning of the movie, but he wants to become a fighter to like appease his father's image, kind of, and learns to kind of be himself by the end of it, just do his own thing. I remember when I saw this, the main thing that I got out of it was just the technical aspect more than the anything else. It was a very visually dynamic film. The camera, I remember there's like a scene where the camera's going around the ring, like he's going up to the ring, entering it and everything. So technically, I was impressed by it at the time when I saw it. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever rewatched.
I saw it in 2015, but I remember because we saw it it was a movie that we were just with friends, and we were just like, let's see a movie. We just went to the theater, and I think we just picked Creed.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. We didn't have one in mind. We were just like,
remember.
And we're like, what sounds good? Oh, let's do Creed. And we were all pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Sylvester Stallone is being a very, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even punch anybody in this movie.
Yeah, he's old. He has cancer.
Yeah. He's just an old man. But still good dynamic between him and
he has
Creed.
a great performance in this movie.
Yeah. I want to say this was one of the reasons why do you remember #OscarsSoWhite?
Yeah, oh yeah. How could I forget?
I think it was this year, when Creed came out, and it was part of the reason people really felt that, because I think it got nothing, and people were really upset. It was part of obviously it was a bunch of things, but because I remember nobody I knew besides the people I saw it with were like, oh yeah, Creed. It felt like a hidden gem a little bit.
I think it had one.
Year.
I think Sylvester Stallone got nominated.
Oh, so that would be
and that's obviously goes along with the thing. I'll fact check that.
Yeah, sure. But I would recommend it if you're a fan of Rocky and you just want more Rocky. If you've watched them all, it's definitely worth your time. I know. Okay, there are a lot of people who did hate this movie. I think literally just because it wasn't Rocky still, or they felt like it kind of tarnished the legacy because they're like, oh, Rocky's old. Everybody gets old. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, right.
Put up with the fact that Rocky Balboa is not going to be a superstar forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I was right, by the way. One Oscar nomination, and it was Sylvester Stallone,
yeah.
the white guy.
Nice. Yeah, Coogler, I think, moved on to Black Panther.
Yeah, he did. Fruitvale, Black Panther, and that's it.
I think he might have done one other thing, but I remember being happy and sad that he did Black Panther because I didn't want him to be stuck in Marvel world.
Yeah.
But go watch Creed.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I just thought about this. Did you see? We were talking about Coogler being in Marvel world. Did you see Barry Jenkins?
What was it? I saw it, but I don't remember.
The Lion King 2.
The Lion King 2. Yeah. Okay,
what is that about? That's crazy.
And it's not The Lion King 2, though? It's not The Lion King 2 remade. It's just a new Lion King 2?
I don't know.
I think it's a new Lion King 2, not The Lion King 2 done
we'll
like
find
The Lion
out.
King.
I mean, Barry Jenkins, he's allowed to do what he wants.
Yeah.
Maybe Lion King 2 live action will be just phenomenal.
I
don't know.
will buy 40 tickets if it means he will redo The Lion King 1.5 in
Bro, Lion King 1.5 live action would be nuts.
I will buy 40 tickets. I'll buy 50 tickets. I'll do whatever it takes.
So yeah, good job, Barry Jenkins. Get that bread.
What do you have for boxing?
I picked a movie from 2004.
Whoa.
Directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Clint Eastwood. And Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
No, and Hilary Swank and Morgan Freeman, the trio.
Swank. Yes.
This movie is $1 Million Baby.
Now, who could give birth to such a babe?
Somebody. You haven't seen this, correct?
I have not seen this movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. This movie is about Hilary Swank, who is a woman. She has a tough life. She's paycheck to paycheck, working at this diner place or whatever. But she wants to be a boxer.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood is a big boxing trainer, dude. But he doesn't train girls, so she goes to his gym all the time, and she's like, "Miss, I want you to train me, please." And he's like, "I don't train girls."
Is that your Clint Eastwood
Get out of my
impression?
gym. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, please, just train me. I swear I can be good, please.
Yeah.
And that's like a little bit of, and then they're like, "Okay, fine. I'll train you." And she's like, "Oh, thank you so much."
And then he punches her in the face. Training starts now.
And then they train up, and she's a natural.
Nice.
She becomes an incredible fighter.
Is she natural for any reason?
No, she's just got the drive.
magic in her.
She's got the heart.
The heart. Yeah, it's all about guts. I hear.
She's got the heart. There's a cool line in the movie where he was like, I think Clint Eastwood says it. He was always like, it's not all about her, because there's this one guy that goes to the gym all the time who is mentally not 100%.
Gotcha.
And he's always like just like training super hard, but he's like really not good. And he's like, "I'm gonna fight this like super great boxer, and I'm gonna beat him or whatever." And everyone's like, "Yeah, you keep on training or whatever." And they never let him spar or anything because he's gonna get his booty whooped.
Right. Yeah.
But they say something like, "It's not all about heart." He's like, "You take somebody who's like 100% heart and like no fight, and I'll show you him getting knocked out in like 5 seconds or whatever."
Yeah.
But okay, so here's the deal. Are you ever gonna watch this movie?
You picked it as like, a really good one, so I feel like I should.
I know, but so I don't know if I should go into the switcheroo. That's
Okay.
kind of like the way back.
Oh yeah.
But man, I don't know. I won't go too deep.
Okay. Don't go.
I'll just say that this movie should not be called $1 Million Baby.
It's about $1 Million Woman.
It should be called Manchester by the Ring.
Manchester by the Ring. Okay. Oh, okay.
Because
I get that, but I don't know if everybody would.
well, then
They should, but they might not.
just figure it out, okay?
Figure it out.
About like halfway, maybe like 60% through this movie, it takes a wild turn
Yeah.
and becomes like an extremely sad, depressing
Lucas Hedges shows up and
movie.
just everything falls apart.
Yes. And I don't really want to go into what happens. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it totally for you, even though I kind of have, because now you're expecting something
But
really
that's
terrible
fine.
to happen.
As long as I don't, whatever.
But when I was watching, I was like, oh, this is like Rocky, but with a girl. And then I was just like, at the end, I was like, why?
Here's
yeah.
the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I might know what it is through osmosis from stuff I've seen
Okay.
because I might know what it is. Just to put that out there. We'll talk about it afterwards
Okay.
if I think I know what it is. Are you good?
Oh, I thought you were going to say
No,
something.
I'm good. Yeah.
This movie won Best Picture
Oh, yeah.
in 2005 or whatever. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
It has all three of the leads give like really good performances. Clint Eastwood, I don't know. I don't like his voice,
You don't like Clint Eastwood's voice.
but he's like really good at acting with his eyeballs,
Yeah.
especially in this movie.
Especially, yeah, sure.
He's really good with his eyeballs, specifically his eyeballs.
Yeah, right. I understand. But his eyelids probably play a part in it.
And his eyelashes.
And his eyebrows, I'd assume. I'd assume this whole portion of the face.
This part of his face,
very
including
good
the
at-
wrinkles.
Yeah.
Another funny thing, Anthony Mackie is in this movie.
Okay.
He plays like a small like side character. And he's actually like really unlikable. I
Nice.
hate him.
Like the Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah. But the one thing about this is that this movie has some of the most savage punches in like any boxing movie.
Does she
that
wear
I've
her
seen.
mouth guard?
Oh yeah,
Good.
but some of the punches that she lands or like other people land, I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
why?
And it's all woman on woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they do the thing where they go, whew, they exhale when they punch? They go, whew. I hear you're supposed to do that. That was in Creed. Creed taught me that.
Yeah, I guess. Good
Yeah.
boxer. Also, did you know that if you're doing the heavy bag, you're supposed to punch it when it's going away from you?
That makes sense.
I didn't know that. I learned that from this movie. Because she's like trying to train, and he's like, first thing, you're being an idiot. You're going to break your wrists doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great movie. Highly recommend. Very sad. Like, really, like when it was over, I was like,
Good.
So yeah, just be ready for that.
All right. That leaves
$1
us.
Million Baby. Manchester by the Ring. That's what I'm going to
Manchester
call
by
it
the
from now
Ring.
on. No
Cool,
longer
cool.
$1 Million Baby. It's Manchester by the Ring.
If you buy the DVD, like print out a new cover and go to Photoshop and just redo it and show me your work.
I will.
So that leaves us with one category left, which is our wild card,
Ooh yeah, baby.
which is basically just another one. Would you like me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we talked about Moneyball. Bennett Miller made another movie in 2014, which would have been like
Bennett.
3 years later, which I've been wanting to watch since 2014, really. It's something
Same,
that
though.
I've been trying to watch for a long time, and I finally got to. I finally did it. This is Foxcatcher, which is based on a true story.
Wow. I have one question.
No, they never catch the fox.
They don't catch the fox.
They don't catch the fox. That's the twist ending.
Do they figure out what the fox says?
It says it says Mark, come here, please. That's what it says.
Is that Steve Carell?
Yes, it is Steve Carell.
How'd I know?
He's got it was in the trailer. It's like the end of the trailer. He's got a gun. And he's got like Mark.
Did he shoot him?
No.
Oh.
It's because he was doing like a training, like he's got a weird compound. He's this rich dude, Mr. DuPont, again, based on a true story, who took this Olympic gold wrestler and was trying to make like a great team, this Team Foxcatcher, right? And brought him all to this compound and was just trying to make like the best wrestling team to win, right? And he's just a kind of a eccentric man. He kind of treats them like they're almost like toys, like, you know, like they're his little playthings, because he's this rich guy who had no friends and is like, I mean, he's like an old man. He's like 60s or 70s, like he's old, and he's just kind of seems not well socialized and really loves wrestling. Here's the thing that is kind of interesting. Well, okay, you haven't seen this, so I'm not going to say, again, based on true story, I'm not going to say what happens,
Okay.
how it ends up. But this movie is like, you say a movie is a slow burn. This movie is a slow burn. It is.
Slower than burning?
It's like the same exact speed as burning.
Perfect.
It's a very slow burn. And it pays off in the end, I think. But if you aren't prepared for that, it would definitely be off-putting for people. Here's the thing, comparing this to Moneyball. I don't want to watch Foxcatcher again.
Oh.
I don't want to watch Foxcatcher ever again, basically.
Oh,
it was a
geez.
very tough movie to watch because you have this guy, Mark, I forget his last name, but him and his brother were like both wrestlers, and it's his older brother, so he always feels like he was in his shadow, so he was trying to do his own thing, you know? And Mark is a very troubled man. He has like identity crises throughout the movie. He like smashes his head into a mirror and gets like pieces of glass all stuck in his face.
Nice.
He goes on like an eating binge. Like right before he has to make weight, he gains like 12 pounds and he has to like lose it in like an hour.
Oh,
so he's like
geez.
destroying his body, like doing all these things or whatever. And you know, he gets mad a lot and it's Channing Tatum, by the way. So he's this huge dude,
Yeah.
you know, pretty scary, and he gets mad and he gets very aggressive when he wrestles with his brother. He's like training with his brother, Mark Ruffalo, and he'll get very aggressive. He like, I think he accidentally like knees him and blood starts coming out and whatever. And Mark Ruffalo's like, let's go. I get it. Like, you're big. It's fine. Right?
Yo, Mark Ruffalo, my man.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo is like, okay, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. And I looked this up and I felt bad looking it up because I guess it's totally not true. I had to look up if the Mark guy in real life was like on the spectrum at all, because he acts so like he like punches himself in the face, does that sort of things where I was like, is he being taken advantage because he has some kind of disability?
Right.
Just the way his like brother treated him and everything, and how Mr. DuPont like took advantage of him. One thing, and I don't think he does, is the thing. So I thought it was interesting that he was portrayed in such a way. Maybe it was just me. But one thing that happened with this film is that him and Steve Carell, a lot of people found it this way. I didn't find it this way, but a lot of people inferred a homosexual like relationship in this movie because Mr. DuPont like gets him onto like cocaine. They start spending a lot of time, like training, and a lot of people from that inferred that Mr. DuPont, at least Mr. DuPont, was gay and was like getting sexual gratification from like wrestling with him, I didn't get it from Mark at all, like that he would do that, but I maybe got like a hint of it from Steve Carell's performance, but not really, not enough for me to actually like think about it until I read it, But the actual real life guy was super pissed off about it because he had a falling out with Mr. DuPont and was like, no, I hate that guy. Please don't tell people that I was sleeping with him. I'm straight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was upset with the portrayal in that way. So that was kind of a to-do.
Interesting.
And, yeah, it's just a lot of difficult scenes to watch where you feel bad because you're watching this guy kind of deteriorate and you want him to do what's good for him, but you almost feel like wrestling isn't good for him anymore. It's like he needs to just like get out of it. And at the end, he becomes a MMA man.
MMA.
Yeah.
Nice.
Punches and punches. But yeah, totally recommend it. Mark Ruffalo is also, I like his performance a lot.
Love Mark Ruffalo. Great actor.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the other one? 190 cows. Oh, jeez.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Talking about Dark Waters, by the way.
Great movie.
Great movie. Quotable movie.
Talk about quotable.
Tuna melt. Very good. Tim Robbins also.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my turn.
Hey, Grammars.
Hey,
Grammars. Your turn for their wild card pick. What do you got for me?
You already know. Me. Well, I guess listeners of the show probably don't know
but
yet.
But I knew.
But this is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It goes like, if I had to pick my favorite sports movies, it goes like Moneyball and then this one right here. It is
X-Men Origins Wolverine with the Silver Samurai. Kind of.
It's Real Steel, everybody. This movie hella slept on, which I also think is coming to Netflix like this month.
What about the sequel?
I'm not for sure.
Have you seen the sequel?
There's a sequel?
Real Steel 2.
No, it hasn't come out yet.
Oh. I thought Real Steel 3 hadn't come out yet.
Hold up.
We got to fact check this.
If there's a Real Steel 2, I would know about it.
Okay, sure. Let's see. Let's find out. There's at least...
Okay, here we go. Here's a teaser trailer concept.
Oh, for 2021.
Let's do it right now.
Oh, let's do it right now. Live watching of...
Wait, is this like official?
I don't think this is official. I think this is...
What is this?
I think this is a fan cam of...
Foxstar Media.
That doesn't sound authentic at all. You're listening to the... There you... Mute.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, we're doing it. What is this? This is just from the first movie.
Yes, exactly. It's just re-edited footage from the first one to make it look like a second movie, which doesn't make...
Oh, that's like concept? Ew.
Ew.
That guy looks scary.
Ew. Okay.
Apparently, Anthony Mackie's going to be in it too? Great.
Why didn't you just look it up on IMDb instead of watching a fake trailer made by Foxstar Media?
I don't know.
With 30 likes or something?
Hey.
Let's get to the movie you actually want to talk about, which is the first one.
Real Steel. See, I knew there wasn't a Real Steel 2. I'm not a fake fan.
I'm not a fan at all, really.
There will be. You don't like Real Steel?
I've never seen it.
Oh, my God. Dude, Real Steel. Wow, what a great movie. Okay, this movie, it's got Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like a mechanic dude.
What are the best You got Jackman. You got Lori. You got Janus. You know, the best Hughes.
Oh, Hugh Janus is my favorite.
Hugh Janus is my favorite actor.
For sure. Jeez. Okay.
Okay. He's a man. He finds Optimus or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
His son. He's not a good father.
Oh.
He left.
Oh no.
But his son now
Is
he
Optimus.
doesn't really like him.
Okay.
Right? But he comes back with his mom and his stepfather. He comes and they drop him off with Hugh Jackman. He obviously has no idea how to be a dad.
Yeah.
His son, I'd say he's probably like 12.
Okay,
12
sure.
is a good age. And he doesn't really know how to interact with him or whatever.
Yeah.
But they end up bonding over. Oh, okay, I forgot to say he's an ex-boxer. He was
Okay.
the real deal boxer.
And it's the future, right?
I think this movie's set in 2020, which
Yo.
is just amazing. It's just amazing.
I hope so.
I would have very much rathered to have Real Steel timeline 2020 than what we got right now. But
what if Real Steel timeline meant we never got the movie Real Steel?
But then we'd just be living Real Steel.
It'd be a documentary.
Exactly. So it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, they the son is like super into the robot boxing.
Cool. Rock'em sock'em.
Yeah. And they're at like a junkyard one day and they find an old fighting bot. And his name is Atom. Atom. Not Adam. Like
Atom.
Like the atom that you would think. It's Atom.
Atom.
But they just say Atom.
Yeah. Well, that's how you say it.
Right. So they find him and he's like, I want to fix him up so we can fight him. And Hugh Jackman's like, this dude is going to get
I'm just saying, okay,
annihilated.
if he was a wrestler, though, I don't know if boxers have signature moves, but if Adam was a wrestler, it should be called like the Hadron Collider. And he does like a move and he like, bam, and bangs into the.
That'd be great.
Got to put that out there.
No, that would be a good one.
It's good.
So they're like, yeah, whatever, we'll fix him up. And they take him to some like stupid fights and he's like getting beat up real bad. But he's like, no, I believe in Adam. Or whatever. And his original thing is he's like an older model. So he has like a shadow boxing setting.
Oh.
So like he's in the ring and like the
Jackman.
other Hugh Jackman's outside of the ring and he like shadow boxes.
Very
but
cool.
they make it up so he can like talk to it. So now he just like talks to him. He goes like right hook, left hook, dodge left or whatever. And that's how they make him fight. So they go through a couple fights, and Adam starts to get pretty good. They're winning a little bit. They get higher and higher, and then they enter into like the big leagues, the big like tournament or whatever thing, and that's where the big bad boy Zeus is at. Zeus, the number one robot. I mean, this dude is like a destructo beam.
Yeah.
And basically they just climb their way to the top. All the way to the top. And they fight Zeus. In the end, they fight Twin Cities and some other people. The Twin Cities fight, great.
Very
if
cool.
you ever just go on YouTube and type in like Adam versus Twin Cities, and it probably has like 25 million views.
Of course.
Great scene. And then he fights Zeus. And he was supposed to just get like absolutely floored by Zeus because Zeus is like the most high tech, advanced robot, and like the dude behind it is like a bajillionaire who just puts all this money in whatever. But Adam, he's a strong bot. He's got a strong heart, and he's holding in there.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole fight, they're going like, I mean, they're like 9 rounds in or whatever, and Adam's still holding on. He's getting smoked, but he's holding on. And then Adam's voice box breaks.
Bumblebee.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like Bumblebee. And they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How is he going to fight?
Yeah.
And then the kid is like, we got to turn him back into shadow boxing mode.
Yeah.
And then Hugh Jackman is like, no, I can't do that. I am not a boxer anymore. I can't do it. And he's like, come on, you have to do it. And then he does it. And Hugh Jackman, it like relights his old flame.
Yeah.
And there's a part that it makes me cry every time. Okay. I'm such a baby. But there's a part where it's like the last round and Hugh Jackman's doing the shadow boxing and it like goes slow-mo.
Yeah.
And like this one girl that he likes is like at the games or whatever. And she's like watching him or whatever. And Hugh Jackman just looks like he's having like such a great time. He's like throwing out these punches and he's like, and his biceps are huge and he's having a great time. And I'm just like, He loves what he does, and whatever. Him and his son, they connect or whatever.
See, I was hoping that you would say that he had to get in the ring and physically fight with his flesh a robot.
Oh Lord, no.
We'll save that for the sequel. Whether it's like, you have to get a substitute. Where's your substitute bot? We don't have one. Then you forfeit. And he's like, wait. I'll fight.
I'll fight. Oh, that'd be great.
Could you imagine just bloody knuckles, just blood everywhere? And Zeus is like, bro, stop.
Zeus is crazy. But the thing with Zeus is that he's never been knocked down. Not even, he's like never, ever been knocked over and hit the ground. That's how powerful he is. And in that last round or whatever, Adam knocks him on the ground. But he gets back up, and it sucks, but by decision or whatever at the end, Zeus
by points
is still the reigning champion, but everyone's like, nah dude, screw Zeus, and they're all chanting Adam or whatever, and he's like the people's champion or whatever. Super awesome. What a great movie. One of my favorite things is during the final fight, there's like obviously like ads and stuff anywhere, and since it's the future,
2020
one of my favorite ads is they have Xbox 720
dude
like everywhere around, and I was just like, this is so great, because that's what everyone thought it was going to be. They were just going to go Xbox 720, but obviously we know,
even though it would have been at the 1080 if it by then probably,
right? But I just think that's super funny little detail.
I think they were going to do the 720.
They probably were. That's why they had it advertised.
But then they were like, people are going to think our system plays in like 720p. I think that was what they said.
No,
or something like that.
Who
it's
would
like
think that?
People are going to think it's like 720. Well, because the reason they didn't do Xbox 2 was because it was going to be PlayStation 3. And they're like, we can't have Xbox 2 versus PlayStation 3. So we have to make it the 360 because that's way bigger than 360.
That makes sense.
And then they're like 720, and then they're like, but the games are in 1080. They're full definition. People are going to think it's a worse console. So they were like, well, shucks. Make it one.
And then, they were just like, let's do Xbox One anyway.
Well, because that was because I think they wanted it to be the one-stop. Why am I...
Why are we talking about this?
Xbox 720 lives on in Real Steel. You know what? Real Steel 2. Xbox 1080 by then, if it's not there.
Yeah, I hope they keep with that timeline.
Yeah.
The Xbox 720 timeline.
Because now my expectations are high.
I don't know. Real Steel freaking rocks.
Sounds
makes
good.
me feel amazing.
Sounds very
Every
good.
time it's got epic robot fights. I mean, what's there not to love?
Who would win, Adam or Chappie?
Ooh, I haven't seen Chappie.
Me neither.
But Adam is very strong.
Adam or C-3PO?
Oh, Adam would wipe the floor with C-3PO.
What about R2-D2?
Same thing.
RoboCop.
That would be tougher because RoboCop has a gun.
Yeah. So that might be a little challenging.
But Adam, he would try his best.
What are other robots?
What's his face from her face from Ex Machina? Ava.
Oh, Ava.
Adam would demolish Ava.
But she might, like, seduce him.
Adam has no feelings.
What? Well, she might be like, hey, I didn't have feelings either until I did. And then he'll be like, oh, no. Well, he won't be able to.
Oh, no.
Did they fix his talking?
No, Adam doesn't talk.
Oh, right. It's his
He
thing.
can hear.
Right.
So he
yeah,
hears
his hearing thing.
Hugh Jackman talk.
Well,
I don't know because the movie ends.
that's true. Real Steel 2. We need answers.
Hopefully no, because I want just Hugh Jackman just like shadowboxing all the time.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, man, Real Steel, amazing, incredible movie.
Is it actually like whoever does the Rock'em Sock'em robots? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, the game. Like
Is it like Hasbro or whatever? Like, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
You know who made the movie?
I don't know.
Okay. Does somebody's neck fly up at some point?
No.
That seems like a missed opportunity. But whatever. I'll give it a pass for now. That does it for the spotlight.
Yeah, we did it.
Are there any other sports movies that you just want to
shout out?
Space Jam.
Yeah, I
for
guess
golf.
That's a good one.
For golf movie. Well,
Yeah.
You know, Caddyshack, also golf.
Yeah.
Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
A good bowling movie.
Great bowling. Great bowling.
Kingpin. The Lebowski. Catwoman, I already said. 8 Crazy Nights is kind of like a basketball movie.
Sure.
You haven't named one.
Because you keep on talking. I'm trying to think. I had one, but now I don't remember. 'Cause you just said
Dodgeball.
a million. Dodgeball's a good one.
Dodgeball's a good one.
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory. Talladega Nights we didn't mention, but that's a great
Talladega
racing
Nights.
movie.
Wow, what a great movie.
That is great. Yeah.
I, Tonya.
I, Tonya. Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Warrior. I remember I told you earlier. I wanted to mention Warrior. It's like a MMA fighting movie. It's all right. A little melodramatic for me.
Yeah.
But it's got Tom Hardy. It's pretty good. And there's some, just like, I know I talked about $1 Million Baby having like savage punches.
But this one.
This movie, there's a part where he literally like lifts him up and he just like slams him into the ground like 3 times in a row. And I was just like, how is he not dead?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one.
Predators.
Yeah. Alien Covenant.
No, what's a sport about Alien Covenant?
I don't know.
Predators is a hunting movie. Hunting is a sport.
I guess.
So Predators.
Well, the xenomorph kind of hunts.
Yeah, I guess. But like, xenomorphs aren't smart enough.
The Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
That counts.
It's like Gladiator. Yeah.
The first one. Well, the second one would count too.
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
But the other two don't.
They'd be like sports adjacent.
Yeah. Hunger Games. What are there?
We got a pretty good list there.
That's pretty good. I'm sure we missed something, and
Sandlot.
someone's gonna comment and be like,
Bad News Bears,
you
both of
suck."
them, even though both are Bad News Bears.
The Great News Bees.
Wait, okay. So what sport has the best movies? Is it baseball?
It's either baseball or boxing / fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Because boxing, we didn't even mention like Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Freaking Rocky.
All of them. Well, really just the first one, but all of them. As far as people liking them. I don't know. I feel like baseball has a lot. But I don't know.
Baseball has a lot of classics.
And it has a lot of older ones, too. Like even Black
Yeah.
and White going all the way back then. Would that Abbott and Costello skit count? The Who's on First?
What a great...
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know. Who's on third? Third base. I know that one. Oh, what a great... If you haven't seen... Okay, seriously, if you haven't seen the Who's on First bit, everybody knows it. But like, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch. It's so funny.
It is very funny.
It's so classic comedy. It's great. It is great. I used to have a DVD of it, but I don't know what happened to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. But that moves us right on to...
the review of the week.
Where we're going to see a review. We're going to read 2 reviews of some movie that we talked about on the show today. Would you like to lead the way?
1 out of 10.
Okay.
Hollywood promotes murder. Oh, wait. This might spoil the movie.
Okay. So I know it's one of 2.
Okay. Jeez. Okay.
I'm going to guess it's the $1 Million Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can read this now.
Oh.
Hold up. Hillary Swank, blah, 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 blah. I do not recommend wasting your money to support this movie to anyone who has any objective moral grounding or a concept of self-worth.
That's pretty strong. That's a pretty strong feeling about this film.
It teaches that when events go sour that you should just give up and die because you are worthless.
Well,
yeah, I don't want to read it. Those are some of the highlights.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah.
I'm going to spoil the movie for you, and
Sure,
I don't want to
yeah,
do that.
Thank you. Mine is probably going to be really hard to guess, so I need you to pay attention because I want you to get it.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Because they're offering an alternative title, like you did Manchester by the Ring. This person's doing a similar thing, and I want to see if you can get their clever wordplay here. Should have been called Enola Holmes.
Oh, Enola Holmes. I was like, wait, that's not a sports movie.
This movie will give you dyspepsia. Don't they have a regulatory body that doesn't allow anyone to make a Sherlock Holmes movie? Come on, why? And that's the end. This
Enola Holmes.
This review comes from someone named AAQIBJ-92589. Thank you, AAQIBJ-92589.
Thanks. That was great.
Posted on September 25th, 2020. Thank
Wow.
you. Enola Holmes.
Enola Holmes.
Go watch Enola Holmes, everybody. Check it out. Check it out.
Check it out. Check it out. Okay. You know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's
5:36.
5:36. But did you know that you can email us
Mm-hmm.
at thestaglerpod@gmail.com, and you can send us an email like this young lad who sent us an email.
Let's not assume. This young person. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. In honor of your sports episode, I got a bit of an odd question. Well, it's when there is it's an odd question, not a odd question.
Idiot.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
That's harsh. Okay.
Hey, you said it.
If I didn't
You
call them
said
an
it.
idiot.
Yeah, but you corrected them. You didn't have to do that.
Okay, what if this is literally a child and I'm just like being helpful? I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, do you know that when this happened? But you're just calling
If
them.
there's a vowel, it's got to be an, not a.
Yeah, so you're an idiot, not a idiot.
Hey, I didn't say that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a nice person.
If you can think of
Thank
any.
you for the question.
Yeah, thank you for the question. We appreciate it so much. If you can think of any, do you have any not real sports that you wish were real? Like in Final Fantasy X, they had an entire sports called Blitzball. Love the show. Keep going strong, guys.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, but these auto reply suggestions that Gmail gives you make me laugh every single time because 3 of them in the row are, wow, I have no idea. Haha.
Great auto reply.
It's so great. I do have one off that I thought of, which is like my number one with the bullet because it also makes controlling elements real, which is pro bending from the Legend of Korra. Is
pro bending. Let's
so
go.
cool. It's only in season 1, but it's so cool. It's such a cool idea. I wish the whole show was just pro bending.
I would take a whole spin-off about pro bending.
I literally wish instead of being world saving, it was her trying to win the pro bending championship, and that was her avatar thing. I would have loved that, and there could be like other stuff going on, but it's like I have to kill Amon and be home for practice. Like, you know what I mean?
Be home for practice.
Like she's got to do both. I wish it was like that, but off the top of my head, pro bending.
Pro bending is great.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
It is the best one.
Probably. But basketball.
Basketball.
It's a movie. It's like baseball and basketball combined.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
We forgot Air Bud when we were talking about basketball movies.
I mean, any sports movie really, and Air Bud got like all the movies.
Yeah. Basketball though.
Basketball. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like if baseball and basketball had a baby.
Hence the name.
Basketball.
Blurns Ball is a good one.
Yes.
Blurns.
Yeah. Tron.
The light cycle racing. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's cool.
That actually pretty interesting. Yeah, that actually is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it could probably be real from like video games. You know what I mean? Like we could just make it like there's esports now. So really any of these things could become real if someone just made a video game about them. But unless you think esports aren't real, in which case I say esports is my pick. I wish esports were a real sport.
Esports.
I actually hate esports. I cannot enjoy them really.
I enjoy them.
Yeah, I know. There's just something about it. Like sometimes I can watch fighting game ones for a little bit, but usually I just get so tired. I'm just like, I don't know.
Speaking of fighting games, did you see the new Smash character?
I did see let's talk about it. Sure. The new Smash character was announced. And Smash is a game where they try to get characters from all different kinds of games now. They try to do that and try to really... The slogan's like, everyone is here. You know, they're trying to represent all of gaming. So to do that, they got...
Steve from Minecraft.
Minecraft Steve. Steve Minecraft himself. I think his last name is Minecraft.
Wow.
And he's in the game. I didn't actually watch the trailer or whatever. I just saw the announcement on Twitter. And that was it. And I was like, okay. And I just kept scrolling. Then I found out people were really mad.
Yeah, like what?
I don't
Who cares?
Is it still a vocal minority? I mean, they were so mad that I heard Twitter broke down. Like it went down for a couple of hours because people were so mad. But I don't see what there's to be mad about. It's a...
Whatever.
I don't get it. It's a kid's game. It's
I'm
like,
not a Smash player, so...
Smash is just like a fun party game that you play with your friends who like... Your little cousin will love to play Minecraft Steve and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I know Smash has like a pretty toxic community. I know.
They have a pretty grooming community.
They have not a great community around
Yeah.
Smash. So I don't know. Maybe that could be part of it. I don't know. Whatever.
Probably.
Minecraft Steve. Hopefully he just owns Marth.
I want to be super OP. Yeah, another sword user. Gah.
Does he have a sword? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you use a sword in Minecraft, so
Yeah, I figured he would. Maybe he can like
probably use all of them. I don't know.
build things. That'd be cool if he could like place blocks and like get higher or something. I don't know. What I don't play Smash.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Why did we think about that? Oh, we were thinking about esports.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any other fake sports. I think that I can think of.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games. I don't wish it was real though. So, because the question says that we wish was real.
Whatever they do in Alita Battle Angel, she does like a roller skating sport, right?
Yes.
Pyramid from Battlestar Galactica. Pyramid could be real. Pyramid's cool. It's kind of just like almost like basketball and polo put together.
Interesting.
If polo is what I think it is
Polo.
in my head,
Where's the polo movie at?
isn't there one?
A polo movie would be cool.
I think there is a polo movie.
I want to see like the in-depth, gruesome look at polo and the toll it takes on the human body.
With the racing one, we could have talked about like Secretariat or something. We didn't do that.
I'm not a big fan of horse movies, to be honest.
War Horse.
War Horse
Spirit?
is good. Okay, well, horse racing movies.
Horse racing movies, fair enough. Why do you disagree with just like the idea of it with the hurting the animals and
I mean, that sucks, but no, I just have never really been interested in the horse racing. Just like the whole like culture around it is just like never interested me.
there's also like rodeo movies that we could have talked about. There's one that just came out. I forget what it's called though.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club. That about does it for our show. And we're gonna talk. Okay, so guys, it's October.
So spooky season.
So we promised that we'd have some spooky stuff coming for you. And next episode, we're going to be talking about... Also, guys, it's going to be on the Sunday instead of that Saturday. Just a heads up. But it's going to be about the living dead. Okay. Marilyn...
We're doing all Marilyn Monroe movies.
Jeez.
I'm
We're
sorry.
doing zombie flicks. We're doing all zombie movies. We're going to both pick out 5, not necessarily our favorite, just 5 we want to talk about and, share. Because zombie movies are probably the genre that you've seen the most of.
Yes.
And I also am a huge fan of zombie movies. So we'll both pick out 5, that we can recommend to people or that have interesting ideas at the very least. And we'll have a nice, slightly spooky themed show for you. And the show after that, by the way, this is really in advance. But that show is going to be on Halloween.
On Halloween.
Whoa. That's crazy. We got to do something special. So I don't know. I'm just saying we got to do something special.
We got it. It's cooking up.
It's cooking up. We got plans. We got plans.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
That'll be a good one. Get ready for the Halloween episode.
Yeah. But for now, we must, as the French say, bid you adieu and say goodbye.
Oh, I got it.
Sure.
We can do it just like in Moneyball. We can be like,
"You're such a loser, Nick.
No,
You're such a loser, Nick. You're such a loser, Nick."